but actually peering over it and watching your process.
How'd that go?
I'm sanitizing the workstation in the crossover.
How'd that go?
It's impressive.
Did it go well?
I'm just going to say it's impressive.
I'm going to hurt myself.
Solve the puzzle.
I'm going to hurt myself.
Yeah, dude, probably. I heard something fall over there when you went to grab something from your backpack or something bang into the wall. What happened over there?
I'm going to pull something or cut something. Something's going to happen. I ripped my thumb a little bit today. So something is going to happen.
Doing what?
Wiping the mic. I don't know what happened. I think it's the piece here that's close to the microphone.
Everything was just happening too fast?
No. I thought I was going to bleed, but it's not bleeding.
Everything was just happening too fast for you to even know how the injury happened.
Yes. Wow. Something happened.
It's like a car accident.
Don't even bring that up with my recent experience. Anyway, happy hump day, everybody. Thanks for joining us as always. It is much appreciated on this Wednesday. He's Ramie, I'm Cattles. A lot to get to before we get to the game nights for Kings Raptors 5:30 later on here on Sactown Sports. And we'll get to the Kings. Plenty to talk about your Kings. But I want to start with the Niners, actually, Ramie, and I want to start with Brock Purdy.
Yeah, man, NFC Championship this weekend.
It doesn't even feel like it,
right?
It's just Purdy. It's been so quick. It has been so quick. Everything is just flying by. At least it feels that way. But we are just a few days away from the NFC Championship game, and obviously the biggest story, because the media is going to make it the biggest story, is Brock Purdy. People are saying things about Brock Purdy. I've said this for a long time now, since he started games for San Francisco, that he is a great story. Hopefully they make a movie, and I'm rooting for him. I am always rooting for the Cinderella. I am always rooting for an underdog. I'm always rooting for guys and gals that are doubted and, questioned about their ability. And it is a fantastic story. But there is a but. The focus should be on Brock Purdy versus the Eagles, right? The focus should be on the Niners against the Eagles, offense, defense. But inevitably, Ramie, and this is what I have been warning people about for the last few weeks, inevitably, the crush of the Brock Purdy coverage is going to reach the land of hyperbole. And that's where we're getting. That's where we're getting to. That's what's going to happen. And that's what already is happening from some people, is this hyperbolic nonsense about Brock Purdy. Who am I talking about? Just in case you think this is
talking about, Nick?
Because people might think this is like a straw man's argument. No, nobody. Here's Dante Whitner from NBC Sports Bay Area.
Think back to when Tom Brady replaced Drew Bledsoe.
Oh, why?
$100 million contract. Now it's going to be Brock Purdy replacing Trey Lance, the number 3 pick. But it's all predicated on the next 2 ball games. Brock Purdy is the second coming of Tom Brady.
Wait. What did he say at the end there?
He said Brock Purdy is the second coming to Tom Brady.
My hearing's not great.
Yeah, that's what he said.
From a career in radio, I'd come in here and I crank these headphones up, Nick. So every once in a while, I hear something and I'm like, what did I just hear? Did I hear that right? Because sometimes I'll hear things wrong.
Oh,
sometimes
you heard
I don't
it right.
hear things at all. You know what I mean?
You heard it right.
I heard it right.
The second coming
of Tom Brady.
Yeah. Look,
top 5 all-time quarterback, Tom Brady.
Top quarterback of all time. Look, anything is possible.
Top 10.
Anything is possible. Number 1. Maybe Brock Purdy moves on. No zeros. Maybe Brock moves on to be a great quarterback. Again, I would love it. I am here to see it. I am here to root for it. It would be fantastic. But number 1, this is so incredibly disrespectful to Tom Brady. Like, imagine being Tom Brady. Like, I've won 7 Super Bowls. I've been to how many? What is it? 9?
10?
10?
Right? Yeah.
I've been to 10 Super Bowls. I've won 7 of them. I've played for 20 plus years. I have broken all sorts of records within NFL history. Prolific passer. I've done all of this.
Did he start 7-0?
And this dude
did he go to the NFC Championship as an unlikely rookie starter.
And this guy, Brock Purdy, after playing like 7 games, is being mentioned in the same breath as me.
Excuse me.
You're loco, man.
After winning 7 games.
How many Tom Brady's happen? One Tom Brady happens, okay? You're not going to get somebody who is drafted in the 6th round, 7th round, undrafted, to go on and win 5, 6, 7 Super Bowls. That's not good. Like, this is Haley's Comet, folks. And Dante Whitner's like, nah, he's just the next Tom Brady. No big deal. This happens all the time. Like, the 20 years of what was built with Brady, that'll happen.
But it started the same way, Nick. That's what he's getting at.
So did a million other stories that never got to that pinnacle, Ramie. There are so many 7-game samples that went very well that did not end up with the greatest career of all time.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
First, it is disrespectful to somebody who accomplished as much as Brady to just throw somebody after 7 games into that company. It's like, nah, man, like, you got to work at it. Patrick Mahomes is far, far away from the company of Tom Brady, and we're already sitting there saying Brock Purdy. Relax. It's a good story. It's a great story. I want it to happen. I want it to work. Again, I want it. But can people just relax? Because aside from being disrespectful to Brady and other great quarterbacks, Mahomes, all other great quarterbacks like Rodgers, back in the day, you got Montana and Peyton Manning. And I mean, you go through
better than Mahomes.
All of these great quarterbacks. It's just, can we just appreciate what's happening right now? And people thought like, oh, Nick, like, why are you worked up? Because I knew this is where we were going to get to this spot right now. I knew inevitably that people in the media would start to lose their minds and go too far too soon. And you know who else it's unfair to, Ramie?
Brock Purdy.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's 100% unfair to Brock Purdy for anybody to start comparing him to the greatest quarterback of all time. I mean, if you want to compare him to other really good rookie seasons, really good first-year quarterbacks, quarterbacks that have gotten this far in their first season as a that's fine. But everybody got to pump the brakes. That want, anybody who wants to bring up the names that I brought up, the Mannings, the Mahomeses, the Bradys, the all of them. Montanas, we all have to make sure we got to keep these people in check and hold them accountable.
The only time you should be hearing Brock Purdy's name in the same sentence with some of those guys that you just mentioned is when, like, I think it's notable that no 49ers quarterback has started as well as he has in terms of, and not just in wins and losses, in a number of categories, in interceptions. I saw today, Nick, I need to pull this up to make sure I have it right. His postseason streak of completions or attempts without interceptions is far and away the best in not just 49ers history, in the history of the NFL. If people want to talk, put his name in the same sentence as those guys and saying he has done this for the first time since so-and-so, fine. But to say he's the next Tom Brady, you're right. They're taking 7 games and projecting out 20 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, literally taking 7 games and projecting out 20 of the best years, if not the best years, in the history of the NFL in terms of a single player's resume.
It's irresponsible. And look, Dante Whitner,
irresponsible.
If you're a media member, Dante should know this. The dude played in the league for a long time. He was a successful player in the NFL. He should know. Like, everybody calm down. It's like if you're comparing a safety who played the first 6 or 7 games of their career and saying, "Oh, there you go, that's Ronnie Lott," or a cornerback who had a really good start. The next Deion Sanders. Like, people work out. I mean,
Hafunga, people are going, ooh, Palomalu. Remember 4 games into the season, we were like, the next Palomalu.
It's unfair to Purdy, and this, I just want to put some respect on the names of those that should be talked about with this run, because all of a sudden this has become the Brock Purdy show. How about the acquisition of Run CMC and what he's meant? How about Kyle Shanahan and the job he's done coaching? How about DeMeco Ryans and what he does with this defense? How about Nick Bosa, who should be in the MVP conversation?
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'll just say I'm not surprised.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
That's where the spotlight has gone, because first of all, quarterbacks, right? The spotlight is always on quarterbacks, almost always on quarterbacks. And secondly, the nature of the story, the overcoming the odds, the unlikely hero and guy who comes in and has this type of success. Like those are both things that the media loves to jump on and shine a light on. So I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I'm not at all surprised that that's the story that people want to tell. Here's the number. This is crazy, Nick. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Brock Purdy. And I know you're tired of people talking about Brock Purdy and the things he's done, but this is what I mean. Like these types of things, I think it's okay to go, wow, that's notable. That's impressive. 59 attempts without an interception in the postseason. The next closest, Norm Van Brocklin went 14 attempts without throwing an interception in 1949, and Tyler Huntley went 13 in 2020.
But how many total passes did Norm Van Brocklin throw in 1949?
I don't know. But Tyler Huntley in 2020, he's lapping the field in terms of his decision making, I guess you could say, and not giving the ball to the other team, which, as you've said, as long as he doesn't throw up on himself, they're going to be all right. He's doing that and doing it as well as you can do it. You know what I mean? He's the designated driver. Yeah. And he's killing it.
Yeah.
As the designated driver. You know what I mean? He's crushing it.
You know, don't call me crazy, but I think we could actually live in a world where we can appreciate this great story that is Brock Purdy without leaping to some of the bounds that these people are leaping to. Let's appreciate the story. Let's appreciate the run. Let's embrace Purdy. Let's enjoy this. Let's give him all the credit in the world. But we don't have to go crazy. We don't have to lose our minds. That's just my point.
Why do you hate Brock Purdy, though?
Yeah,
question I keep asking.
I can't stand him. 916-339-1140 is the text line. The phone number is 1-800-920-1140. Of course, you can join us on YouTube, youtube.com, Sactown Sports 1140. When you swing by the YouTube page, don't forget to give us that like. More likes, more eyeballs, bigger community. That's what we're going for. We'll get your thoughts on Brock Purdy and Dante Whitner calling him the second coming of Tom Brady if you'd like. Also, how much would we be willing to spend to keep Harrison Barnes in town? Our answer's in 90 seconds.
Cattles
and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. The only place you'll find Keegan Murray is Sactown Sports.
Out to Keegan Murray, straight away for three, and Keegan knocks down the triple.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Keegan Murray, and you're listening to the home of Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
You've got advanced prostate cancer, but you're not waiting around. You want straight talk, the facts about Orgovix.
Orgovix Relagolix 120 milligram prescription tablets is a treatment for adults with advanced prostate cancer. Fact: Orgovix is a different kind of androgen deprivation therapy treatment, a pill, not an injection. Orgovix may cause serious side effects, including a heart condition called QT prolongation. Tell your doctor right away if you feel dizzy, faint, have a racing or pounding heart, or chest pain. Orgovix can cause harm to an unborn baby or miscarriage. Use birth control during treatment and for 2 weeks after Orgovix treatment. The most common side effects include hot flushes, increased blood sugar and blood fat levels, muscle and joint pain, decreased blood hemoglobin levels, increased liver enzymes, tiredness, constipation, and diarrhea. Other side effects include weight gain, decreased sex drive, and erectile function problems. Orgovix may cause infertility. Talk to your doctor if infertility is a concern for you.
Go with Orgovix. Ask your doctor. For more facts, visit gowiththefacts.com.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
One brings Macloff magic, while the other, we're still trying to figure that out.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
It is 2:15. Time check. It's on me. So used to Verla just putting my mic on. I got to get used to that.
I can do that if you want.
No, it's fine. I just it's a habit every once in a while. 2:15 is what he said on this hump day. Time check brought to you by Coastside Medical Clinic. So as I just tweeted at Nick C Radio, just want to live in a world where we can truly enjoy a great story without losing our minds. And I feel like that shouldn't be too much to ask. But maybe it is, Ramie. Maybe it is in the year 2023. Maybe it's just too much to ask to actually just enjoy a story.
Hey, do we not get carried away with anything? We get carried away with everything. It's 2023.
I know. It's so irritating.
Everything is extreme.
So annoying.
Frustrated and angry.
Wow. Extreme,
Just,
you know?
Woo!
You know?
Going crazy. That's what it's all about, right? Going crazy. 7-game sample. Next Tom Brady.
Everything, man. You name it. We go crazy about it. There's nothing we don't go crazy about in 2023.
Speak for yourself. I try to be somewhat reasoned.
I just mean we in terms of society in general.
I would agree.
We lose our minds over everything.
But we also, here's one more thing I'll just say about that. We pay way too much attention to the minority voices in the world throwing out crazy stuff.
Saying the stupid. Yeah.
I heard somebody a long time ago say like 30% of this world has always been like, conspiracy theorists and just throwing a bunch of random stuff out there and hating stuff. But they never had the megaphone, right? Now they have the megaphone. So it's like everybody pays attention on Twitter to the people who bring up the most ridiculous stuff. The DeMar Hamlin stuff, for example. That's why I don't like to waste time talking about the DeMar Hamlin.
I thought we were going to leave that yesterday. Why'd you bring that up again?
Go down that rabbit hole,
because I saw it again like trending. And
is that really DeMar Hamlin?
What does trending even mean?
You're sure that was DeMar Hamlin?
Again, the problem also is the dreaded A word, the algorithm that also feeds you that 30%, like apparently Ramie's Twitter is.
That's what I mean. What's trending? Trending is whatever they want to trend. That's what it is. Anyway.
Okay.
Let's jump to the
stay
Kings
in the
here.
Matrix, bro. All right.
Well, let's jump to the Kings. I think most people in the YouTube chat agree with us about, let's not go too far about Brock Purdy. Let's enjoy the story. Let's embrace the story. Let's give the young man credit for playing very well. This is a great run. The Niners have a chance to get to the Super Bowl. There's a lot of awesome things about this run that we can talk about and enjoy without losing our collective minds and comparing the quarterback who's played 7 games to the guy who has won 7 Super Bowls. Let's think about that. Brock Purdy's played 7 games. We're saying he's the second coming of somebody who has won 7 Super Bowls. Everybody calm down. All right, let's jump to Harrison
Why do you hate
Barnes.
Brock Purdy?
Harrison Barnes, I do not. HB is balling, Ramie.
Purdy.
15 points or so a game, 5 rebounds a game. He's also shooting almost 49% from the field. He's shooting 39% from 3. And Coach Brown was very, very nice to one Harrison Barnes when talking about him on Monday night.
HB he's irreplaceable from the standpoint that he brings a calming presence to us no matter what the situation is. Our 2 all-stars, Foxy and Domas, are learning how to lead. And they haven't necessarily been in huge pressure moments in the NBA and come out on top. HB has.
Irreplaceable. Mike Brown talked about the long term with HB. He sounds nearly untouchable, Ramie.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then we've got 2 options. If we say he's nearly untouchable, because, look, anything can happen. There could be this gigantic trade before the deadline of bringing in a top 20. We don't think that's going to happen.
They say LeBron might be on the block this offseason.
Oh, you never know. Aside from a trade that could knock our socks off, right? Just knock our pants off, like I said yesterday. HB is more likely to be here in Sacramento when the trade deadline passes, which leaves 2 options. He either walks, right? Or you keep him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you could, of course, sign and trade him, and that's a whole nother world. And
again, LeBron.
But let's just look at the idea of losing him or extending him. He makes $18.3 million right now, Ramie. What would you offer him? What is reasonable to you if you are Monty McNair and you want to keep HB in town?
I think you have to that clip that Mike Brown played in the longer extended version of that clip or quote, he talks about the effect of Harrison Barnes and how he rubs off on guys and his professionalism and having been on a championship team before, et cetera, et cetera. The production is one thing, Nick. I think what makes him sort of untouchable or makes Mike Brown make him sound untouchable is those intangibles of his leadership and his veteran presence and championship know-how. If you can get better production out there on the market for the money that it would cost to bring back Harrison Barnes, I'll give you a price that I'd pay in a second. But if you can get better production and you think that the Barnes effect has set in the offseason, the stuff that Mike Brown is talking about, that those lessons have set in and they've been absorbed in those guys, now it's part of their DNA, and that you don't need Harrison Barnes to preach this stuff or to rub off on guys or set that example anymore, his value is a little bit less to the Kings at that point, right? Like when it's set in and it's part of the rest of the younger guys' DNA. I think if you can bring him back at around the same price that you're paying him now, but in a contract that it de-escalates in terms of the cost to the team as you go into the third, maybe fourth year of a deal. I wouldn't go much further than that. He's a tradable piece in case this franchise is in a much different place or you just have less use for Harrison Barnes at that point and you're looking to move him. I'm good with, something in the 15 to 18 million per year range in terms of average annual salary and something that goes down in cost as the years go on.
We're in the same spot. I mean, if I'm Monty, I don't want to go any longer than 3 years. HB is going to be 31 in May. So I don't want to have somebody on the books at age 34, 35, unless they are a LeBron James who seemingly doesn't age, a la Tom Brady in the NFL. Like, there are a couple of freaks in sports, and we got those guys, Ovechkin in the NHL, right? There are a few select athletes that just, they defy age.
Right.
But if I'm a GM and I'm playing it safe and smart, I'm not going to give HB more than 3 years. I think price-wise, you're right on the money. Somewhere $16, $17 million. You got the Domas extension, I think, on the way at some point when they can actually offer him the long-term deal. We talked about Monty staying here, which I think gives you a better chance of signing Domas to that extension. And when you just look at it, there's always the possibility that we're dealing with contract year Harrison Barnes, right? Like he's lighting the world on fire.
That's the other thing. That's the other unknown, sort of.
But if I'm looking at comps, Mikal Bridges, right? Let's look at him in Phoenix. He's going to make about $23 million this year. He's better than HB, and he is also 5 years younger than HB.
Right.
You could also look at Bojan Bogdanovic, who I think is a better comp. He's 33 years old, and he just signed a 2-year contract extension with Detroit. He's going to get paid about $19.5 million. So, I would actually look at, 17, 18 million as a fair price. And let's not forget that the cap is also going to jump.
Sure.
Which makes a difference. 18 million this time around is not the same as 18 million last time around. So I think that's fair. I would be more focused on the term. I don't think you go longer than 3 years. I would be concerned if we're talking age 34, 35 HB versus 32, 33. But I think we're in the same category, and I think it's doable. I think it's doable. Cole G says 2 years, 45 million on the YouTube channel.
That's not crazy.
Sactown Sports 1140.
Factoring in what you just said about the cap, that's not a crazy number. 2 years, 45 million, and that way you're not investing as long in a guy who's 30 years old, and he's maybe getting a little bit more money than he would if he went out into the open market.
Mr. All Red Everything says 3 years, 65 million. So I think I would not look to go more than 18 million. I think that's my ceiling. Now, of course, push comes to shove. You got to throw an extra 500 grand million there. Okay. But I wouldn't want to go 20 plus million with HB. I just wouldn't. But I think it's very doable, and I think it's very possible that HB is going to stay here through the trade deadline and that he is going to be a King next season as well with an extension. Your thoughts on that? How much would you be willing to pay HB? 916-339-1140 is the text line. The phone number, 1-800-920-1140. Phone lines wide open for you. Also, youtube.com, Sactown Sports 1140. Give us the thumbs up. Very little effort from you. Helps us an awful lot. More thumbs up means more eyeballs to the product. And, of course, we're going 6A to 6P now on Sactown Sports. We're trying to build the momentum and build this YouTube channel. Your help is especially important with that. The trade deadline, as we were just talking about, it's nearing. What's Coach Brown saying about his team? Find out next.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports goes 100% live and local.
From 6 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Starting January 23rd. Tune into Carmichael, Dave, and Jason Ross from 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. Followed by the return of Deuce and Mo.
Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Followed by Cattles and Ramie from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. You wanted more local? We're giving you more local on Sactown Sports. Your local sports leader.
What's going on? Joined as always by Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Chad, what's up with the Chrysler Start Something New event?
Hoblet is the most trusted dealer in California and is known for having the largest inventory of heavy-duty trucks in the state. We have every type of Ram 2500 heavy-duty available and zero dealer markup. In fact, right now you can save up to $12,000 off MSRP on new 2022 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cabs, with financing starting at 1.9% and prices as low as $39,630.
Oh, is that all?
No, that's not it. We also have up to $8,000 off MSRP on new 2022 Ram 1500 Laramie Crew Cabs as well.
What are you waiting for? Stop by the Hoblet Ram Truck Center off County Road 102 and I-5 today, or search, select, and save at HobletDodge.com. Best prices, best selection, period.
$12,000 in total net savings after $6,000 factory rebates and $6,000 dealer discount. Rebates include $2,000 Chrysler Captive bonus cash. Must finance with Chrysler Captive qualify. 1.9% financing available for 36 months on approved credit. $28.61 per $1,000 borrowed. $8,000 total net savings after $2,000 factory rebates and $6,000 dealer discount. 10 at each net savings. See dealer for details.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda,
your one-stop Honda shop. Individual rates, coverage offerings, and savings may vary. Subject to terms and conditions. Not available in all areas. Actual Pie customer.
As a small business, we're always looking for ways that we can offer the quality product and get some cost savings.
Meet Michelle from J.J. Pfister Distilling Company, a small business in California. When looking for workers' comp coverage tailored to the company's needs, she discovered Pie Insurance.
We heard about Pie Insurance being geared for a small business, gave Pie a call, and ended up switching.
Is your small business overpaying for workers' comp insurance? See how much you could save at trypie.com. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate, so your workers' comp audit experience is simplified.
We saved about 30% off of our workers' comp insurance when we switched to Pie.
It's as easy as pie to get the savings you deserve. What are you waiting for? Ask your agent for Pie. Or get a quote in 3 minutes at trypie.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
I'm in the great outdoors doing a little Dodge watching with Vince Bloom, the big guy at Lasher's Elk Grove Dodge. Would you look at that? You know, those are some pretty high-powered binoculars you got there, Vince.
Yeah, I use them to spot all the Lasher license plates out there.
Well, there's bound to be a lot because, you are the big guy after all, and the big guy's known for making great deals on new Ram 1500 Bighorns and Longhorns, Tradesmen and Laramies, crew cabs and quad cabs, 4x4s and 4x2s.
I know. Hold on. I see another one.
Another what? Looked like it might have been a new Dodge Challenger.
I think so.
Or a new Dodge Charger. Elk Grove Dodge sells a ton of those, and new Durangos, Chrysler Pacificas, Jeep Cherokees, and the new Grand Cherokee, Jeep Compass, Gladiators, and Wranglers, and the all-new Wagoneer. I've heard Elk Grove Dodge has great deals on those, too.
Oh, he's taking off.
Oh, I'm sorry. You lose him?
Oh, no. Just another happy customer migrating back to Elk Grove Dodge.
No surprise there, because for over 40 years, the name Lasher means a great deal.
Only at Lasher's Elk Grove Dodge and the Elk Grove Auto Mall and online at elkgrovedodge.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Start the new year right at Maida Chevy with huge dealer discounts and great factory incentives on new Silverado half-tons with 2.7-liter engines. See all the savings at MaidaChevy.com. Find new roads.
Ends 13123 ID 107046.
Sactown Sports
Headlines.
With your Sactown Sports headlines, I'm Simone Rickford. Good people of Sacramento and disciples of the Beam rejoice. Kings announced yesterday that General Manager Monty McNair has agreed to a multi-year contract extension. The contract for the Kings' Assistant General Manager Wes Wilcox has also been extended. The announcement is widely welcomed as McNair has been considered instrumental in ascending the franchise into Western Conference contention. Kings take on the Toronto Raptors tonight to conclude their January homestand at Golden One Center. If there wasn't already enough to cheer for, with a win over the Raptors tonight, Sacramento can improve to 9 games over 500, their best start since the 2004-2005 season. Stay tuned for all of your Beam Watch coverage right here on Sactown Sports, starting with game night at 5:30 following Cattles and Ramie. I'm Simone. Those are your Sactown headlines. Next, we're going to discuss Mike Brown and his components of his Beam team. Coming up right now on Cattles and Ramie.
Live and local in the afternoon.
They always keep you on edge.
Cattles
And Ramie.
on Sactown Sports.
Yeah. With you on a Wednesday. He's Ramie. I'm Cattles. Let's stick with the Kings, Ramie.
Yes, Nick.
By the way, Jason Anderson of the Sacramento Bee will be joining us in 1 hour to discuss the extension for Monte McNair.
See, Mr. All read everything.
What did he say?
Said, see, we finally got the camera angle figured out, so you don't look so small. I'm changing his words from so you don't look so small.
Yes.
On the YouTube
yes.
channel.
I noticed that.
I think we could zoom in on you a little more, but then we wouldn't see the Sactown Sports logo.
We got to keep the logo.
Branding, Ramie.
I know, but
I don't see anything right now.
It says Sactown Sports right across the top in our graphic. We need it in your shot too. I think we need to zoom in on Nick. I'm just saying. I think we need more Nick in that shot.
Am I the only one not seeing a picture of us right now?
I'm seeing us.
Really?
Yeah.
What is happening?
Oh, hold on. I'm not live. 1 second. Yeah, we're now. I am live and I'm seeing us. So, yeah, something's going on with your feed, bro.
Oh, there I am. What is going on with this computer?
Can we try zooming in on Nick?
No.
I mean, we can. It's not that hard.
Everything is fine. Everything is fine. We're okay.
You're less than half the shot still. Okay. All right. Fine.
If you zoom in, you're not going to get the Sactown Sports above.
But it says Sactown Sports right across in the graphic, right across the top, right in the graphic.
But why else would we have that beautiful sign behind him?
For other shots? I don't know. I'm just saying. It looks better, but still looks weird.
Here's my question. Why all of a sudden are you bothered by this? This has been the case since last June.
It's bothered me since I don't like our camera angle. I haven't liked I complained about my camera angle the first week I was here.
You don't
we
like
should explore. We should explore other things.
Yeah, exactly. Why not try different things? You won't know until you try.
Tell a new PD.
As my mom would tell me when I don't want to try food.
Is that what she would tell you?
You won't know until you try.
Did it work?
No, never.
Okay.
I'm stubborn.
So the camera angles probably won't work. But anyway, let's stick with the Kings. The Kings continue to crush expectations. Obviously, they play the Raptors tonight. Game night coming up at 5:30. This will be the last game at Golden 1 before the long road trip for the Kings. And the trading deadline, Ramie. The trading deadline is 2 weeks from tomorrow. It's coming up, man.
That's creeping up.
Yeah, it's creeping up quickly. 2 weeks from tomorrow is the trading deadline. And so Coach Brown met up with the media yesterday at Shoot-Around, and he was asked about the trading deadline and how he feels about this team and his communication with Monty.
I love this roster. I mean, you talk about a group of guys that have connected, and that's a big thing when it comes to having the right culture. Your guys have to connect. They have to be all on the same page with your values and principles and all the other things that you're trying to get aligned to move this group in the same direction going forward.
So, very similar to what he had to say about HB, right? He stood by HB, loves HB. HB's irreplaceable. Looks at HB as a long-term player versus a short-term player. Here he is yesterday with the media doubling down on not just HB, but this roster, saying, I love this roster. Absolutely love this roster. Where we're at, here was more from Coach Brown.
Having said that, though, that's what Monty and Wes get paid to do. They got to explore the market. If they feel like there's something out there, then obviously we'll talk about it as a group. But I'm more than happy with the 17 guys we have on this team.
Now, of course, some of this is what the coach is supposed to say. I love my team.
Yeah.
And, it's Monty's job. But again, kind of the same way I felt about the Harrison Barnes comments on Monday night, it does seem to me, and it would make sense because of how this team is playing, it seems to me that Coach Brown doesn't want to tinker too much.
No, so you're right. Some of that is coach speak. So I do wonder how much he means that and how much he's saying behind closed doors. Hey, Monty, I need X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? Because coaches and GMs do have those discussions. I do you do have to wonder about messing with the chemistry, Nick, because I think that is a big thing with this Kings team. I don't think that's overstated or embellished or some kind of made up media narrative. I think the chemistry of this team, how much they love each other and like playing with each other, and the vibe in that locker room, and the defensive player of the game chain, the beam, the whole thing. Like I do think that's part of what makes this team as good and as dangerous as it is.
This is the balance, right? It's the challenge that the Kings have, and it's the challenge that we talked about weeks ago. You have the chemistry, you have these guys gelling, you're playing good basketball. This team is far from flawless. We've talked about some of the issues that they have and continue to have, especially on the defensive side. But it's this balance of, okay, how much do you want to mess with the chemistry? But also, if you have a chance to upgrade the talent, like if you have the chance to upgrade the talent, are you worried that it will upset that chemistry? And if so, are you willing to maybe risk some of the chemistry to have an obvious upgrade if Monty can find that obvious upgrade? That's what everybody, I'm sure, in the front office is battling right now. And Coach Brown, I mean, if you're Coach Brown, it's obvious these guys get along. They do have a special chemistry. As the coach, you want to win, which means you want the most talent possible, but you also appreciate what you have right now on this roster and how guys have that chemistry and how everybody is seemingly getting along.
Have you played Jenga? You played Jenga.
Oh, of course.
Jenga,
I got a little table Jenga at home.
Oh,
yeah.
Like the giant Jenga, or the little? You have the you have the little table. Okay,
yeah.
All right. Sometimes you pull a piece out in Jenga and you're like, that should, and the whole thing just comes toppling down. You're like, that's weird.
Sometimes it stays up though when you think it's going to fall down.
Exactly.
Huh?
I think when you're talking about chemistry, it's kind of the same thing. Malik Monk, because I admitted yesterday, Nick, or 2 days ago, that I kind of have to come around to your side of things when it comes to Malik Monk, and there is something legitimately to be concerned about there, and maybe you could find a better piece off the bench in the trade market, but maybe Malik Monk is too important to the chemistry of this basketball team. Maybe he's that Jenga piece that if you pull out in terms of the chemistry and the good vibes and everything else. I'm just using Malik Monk as an example. I'm not saying it's necessarily the case. I think there are certain guys that if you pull them out of that locker room, it could have the effect of sort of things toppling down because of what it does to the chemistry of this basketball team and the good vibes that are around them right now.
The other game that this front office has to play, aside from the whole chemistry
Jenga
versus talent, right? The chemistry Jenga.
Yes.
The other game they have to play is, you got to figure out what the future is with some of the assets you have with this specific team.
True.
Like, is Harrison Barnes going to be here long term? If he's not, then you're more apt to trade him, because if you can get something really good for him now without risking losing him when the season's over, then you might be willing to pull the trigger. You look at Davion. We've talked about Davion's role, his fit. He has not been good in the pick and roll. He has not been good off ball. He has not given you much offense. Is he a fit with Malik Monk being the playmaking guard off the bench? Is he better off being sent somewhere else if you can get something of good value for him? So that's another piece of this that Monty and his staff have to figure out, which is, we might like these guys in a vacuum. We might love them in a vacuum individually, but what does the next 2 or 3 years look like? And if we could move one of those pieces, if we can move a Davion, but bring in somebody who is much better off the ball that could play with Monk off the bench,
right?
Is that then worth it? So there's a lot of different things that front offices have to think about. It certainly is not easy. 1-800-920-1140 is the phone number. Don't forget the website, SactownSports.com. You can always check that out. Capital Casino, conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. Check them out at Capital Casino. Is LeBron on the cusp of being done in LA? We'll have the latest for you coming up.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality. And Safe Credit Union. Let us put you first.
The world has changed a lot these last 2 years. You can do pretty much anything from your home, including order your new Honda from Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Check out our great selection at StocktonHonda.com or come in today and get pre-approved all in the blink of an eye. Stockton Honda makes buying a car simple and stress-free.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
The all-new NBA app is happening and has you covered from coast to coast. With live tip-offs at your fingertips and highlights right as they happen.
Steph Curry drills the three.
Catch every can't-miss moment before, during, and after the game. And behind the scenes like you've never seen.
Let's go.
It's all access, all the time.
Get on to what you do.
All in one app. Because if it's happening in the new NBA app. So get the app today.
Hi guys, it's Mark. Are you struggling with ED? Did you know that a major medical breakthrough is now available and it isn't a pill? Today, Wednesday, January 25th, we're running a one-day special you won't want to miss out on. Coastside Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. This is a technology clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. It's backed by 60 clinical studies, including from Cambridge. If you're ready to regain that spark, today is your day. Call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. You'll also get a gift that can produce rapid and powerful results in minutes. You're going to love that one, guys. Trust me. And today only, we're offering 6 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This is an unprecedented offer worth hundreds of dollars, but call today and qualify totally free. Call 916-603-2000. That's 916-603-2000. Guys, put a stop to your ED and get your life back. Call Coastside Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today, Wednesday, 916-603-2000.
They say they'll get your biggest tax refund. Jackson Hewitt says your biggest tax refund guaranteed, and a chance to double your tax refund. Thousands in weekly prizes during the Double Your Refund sweepstakes. Your biggest refund times 2, twice the money, so forget about them. File your taxes on the double at Jackson Hewitt today. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to U.S. residents 18 or older who file a 2022 federal tax return. Promotion ends 4/2/23. Visit jacksonhewitt.com for rules.
Welcome, Doug Christie here for the Good Feet Store with a question. How is the game of basketball like the Good Feet Store? And the answer is the very best basketball players do it all. Shoot, defend, rebound, they do it all. And the Good Feet Store does it all too. Good Feet manufactures their own line of arch supports, over 300 styles, sizes, and flexibilities. Good Feet arch support specialists at every store personally fit every customer for free with no obligation. Lastly, Good Feet sells its arch supports exclusively at over 200 Good Feet stores nationwide. Sore feet, aching back, knee or hip pain, even plantar fasciitis? When nothing else works, come to the Good Feet Store and experience the comfort, balance, and support of the Good Feet 3-step arch support system. The Good Feet Store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville off Nut Tree Parkway by Sprout, online at goodfeet.com.
Daring, safe, stylish, sporty. 2023 SUV family checks everything except inside the box. There's the beautiful yet robust GLA, the do-it-all GLC, the sleek-up to 7-seater GLB, the innovative Fortress like GLE, one of the most intelligent SUVs to date, the GLS. Each one boasts the seamless technology you expect from a signature Mercedes-Benz vehicle, with the category-leading safety innovations your family deserves. From MBUX voice technology to pre-safe collision response that initiates passenger protection measures in a matter of seconds. It anticipates them. Each SUV in our family built to protect what matters most. Your family. The versatile 2023 Mercedes-Benz SUV family. Best-in-class technology. Leaders in innovation. Intelligence not yet seen from SUVs. A family of distinct models, all equally impressive. Test drive the one-of-a-kind models at your local dealer or learn more now at MBUSA.com.
After 11 years on KHTK and a 6-year hiatus, Talkin' Money with Jeff Tarbell returns Saturdays, 10 a.m., right here on Sactown Sports.
Talking money.
4 NFL teams, 2 conference championship games, and only a few more shots to win big on the playoffs with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Counting down to Super Bowl 57, new customers can bet just $5 and get $200 in free bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use promo code FSR. New customers can bet $5 on the conference championships and get $200 in free bets instantly. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with promo code FSR. 21 and over in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. Void in Ohio and Ontario. Bonus issued as free bets. 1 boost per eligible game. Deposit, parlay, and wagering restrictions apply. Eligibility and terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms. Your afternoon home for Kings talk and more.
This is Cattles and Ramie
on Sactown Sports.
All right, so let's have some fun at the Lakers' expense, because that is one of my favorite pastimes. If we can drink in the tears of the Lakers, whether it's the fans, whether it's LeBron, Rob Pelinka, Jeannie Buss, Westbrook, whatever, Dennis Schroeder, whoever. I mean, it's all equal opportunity. They're all in the crosshairs. And last night,
fabulous.
That's it. You're a fabulous. What are we? What are a
Wrong sound.
Fabulous what? I'm a fabulous guy. So the Clippers beat. I don't know what that was. The Clippers.
Frustrated and angry.
Okay.
That's the one I meant to play.
Okay, great. Clippers beat the Lakers 133-115 last night. And it wasn't about the game. But I will tell you, though, that LeBron, look, he's on an amazing run. And he does deserve credit for playing as well as he's played, given the rest of his starting lineup and Davis being out, and just, nobody really is contributing consistently. LeBron keeps going out there dropping 30, 35, 40. Last night, he was 46, 8, and 7 in 33 minutes. In 33 minutes, he went for 46, 8, and 7. The dude is 38 years old. He does deserve credit.
Sure.
As far as what he's doing on the floor.
Yes.
But we're not here to talk about him on the floor, because we all know who he is on the floor. During the game last night, as the game was coming to an end eventually, inevitably, cruelly for the Lakers, there was a video that was fixated on LeBron. And the best 2 words I could describe LeBron sitting on the bench, what he looked, I would say, sulking you could use.
Mm-hmm.
You could also use despondent. I thought he looked very despondent. Just kind of looking off into the distance as the game was being played.
He hates it there.
Eventually, covering his face with a towel. Just looked absolutely miserable, Ramie.
He was pouting. He was on the bench and he was pouting. And after the game, he sounded like he was pouting, and like he's just not happy being. I don't know if it's part of this Lakers organization or just where this organization is right now, but Nick, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, dude, you're sitting in the mess that you made. Like and that's the last thing you want from a LeBron James, is what we saw on that bench. That's the guy, right? That's the dude in that locker room. That's the guy who sets the tone. And he seems totally despondent, dejected, demoralized. Is there another word that starts with duh? If there is, it fits. He's
dejected.
And that dude, we've talked about the Kings and how the good vibes permeate throughout that locker room and how it has an actual impact and a difference.
Yeah.
And it starts at the top. LeBron James is doing the exact opposite to the Lakers. And I'm not saying that there isn't a talent deficiency there and there aren't roster problems, but when you talk about the vibe of a team, and with a first-time head coach,
Well, let's get into that vibe before we go further. Let's give people some examples because you mentioned LeBron in the post game. Let's give people a tangible feel for the vibe last night after that game. They got beat again by 18 against the Clippers. Here was LeBron with the media in the post game room.
Hi, LeBron. Rob was speaking pregame about trade deadline, and he was saying if there's an opportunity to get all the way at the end and win a championship, there's no resource we'll hold on to if we feel like that's there. How does that analysis philosophy sit with you?
How does it sit with you? He said it to you guys.
Yeah.
All right. He's talking to you. He wasn't talking to us. Rob will do his job. That's his job. My job is to be on the floor and make sure my guys in the locker room is ready to go.
It doesn't matter if he said it to the reporter or he said it to you, LeBron. It's the philosophy that Rob Pelinka has spoken into the ether. How do you feel about that as a player on this team? Oh, well, he said it to you.
As the player on this team.
Yeah. Oh, he said it to you. Okay. Here was more of a LeBron.
Knowing that you guys have played well in these moments and stuff like that, I guess, how did that sort of sit with you tonight?
We're just on our road for error. I said that last week.
That's it. Microphone down. Next question. You got anything for me? I understand LeBron's frustration as far as what's happening right now. Like, I feel like the front office and ownership, they have to do everything they can to make this team a winner. And they're not doing it. They're not willing to give up future first-round picks. And for a player who is 38 years old and playing right now on this team, that's frustrating. Like, that, to sit there and listen to your ownership say, no, we can't make a move to try to be better right now, to try to win a championship now because we're worried about what the draft's going to look like in 2027. If you're LeBron, from his point of view, you couldn't care less about 2027.
But he's also saying we're not going to make a move that's going to do anything less than make us a championship team, which I think is the right approach if you're Rob Pelinka.
But I think LeBron's issue is like, hey, man, there are moves to be made. And LeBron, I would think, believes that they could be a contender if they make those moves, if they're willing to give up the first-round picks, which they're not, right? Like,
LeBron has believed a lot of things,
course.
And that's why they are where they are right now, because they listen to LeBron.
Again, I don't want to fall into – I don't disagree. I'm at the front of the line with, LeBron James is the main reason why Russell Westbrook's in town, and LeBron James is the de facto GM for a lot of these big decisions. Nothing's going to happen unless he's asked about them. But I don't want to just bypass Rob Pelinka and Jeannie Buss. I don't want to make them completely blameless in any of this and just say, oh, no, the excuse is going to be LeBron. Like, I think we could say, yeah, LeBron has screwed some things up for sure and has made it much tougher for Rob Pelinka to do his job. But that doesn't mean that Rob Pelinka and Jeannie Buss just need to keep passing the buck and saying whatever.
I'm not saying they're without fault. I'm just saying that neither is LeBron. And if Rob Pelinka has come to his senses in not just bowing to LeBron's every command and roster manipulation and is looking at the long-term health of this franchise and not willing to sacrifice it to be an okay team this year, that makes sense to me.
Again, it's all about point of view, right? Like, if you're LeBron, you believe, hey, surround me with some good players and I'm going to win because I'm LeBron James. That's what he feels. And
sure,
the outside world can look at that and be like, yeah, but you're still not going to be better than this team. It really all depends on Anthony Davis's health to begin with. I mean, if the guy's not healthy, none of this matters. But, LeBron's looking at this saying to himself, we're a game and a half out of the play-in tournament. We still have a chance to become a playoff team. It's not like we're totally out of this thing. I'm playing some of the best basketball I've played in a long time. And I'm not worried about draft picks 5 years from now. Again, I understand the role that he has played. But he's trying to push to do anything that you can. I don't think the timing is great because they just did acquire Rui Hachimura, and Hachimura is not going to put you over the top. But as we discussed earlier this week, that was a no-brainer type trade. That was a home run for the Lakers, and your GM did just go out and improve the basketball team. It might not be the great thing that you want to happen, but they were at least active this week. So LeBron could be, I don't know, somewhat more optimistic in these post games off of that fact and off the fact that AD comes back tonight. So Davis comes back tonight. What's going to happen? I don't know. But LeBron is, you're going for titles or bust if you're LeBron James right now.
Yeah.
And so, I think LeBron could probably argue back, hey, man, the Westbrook move didn't work. Well, make a move and get Westbrook out of here then. He'd probably say that. Again, he's put this team in a tough position, but he's looking at the current circumstances, understanding that we need more help. Like, this team is not good, And I don't even know if LeBron is pushing for them to acquire a Bradley Beal type player. He's looking at this, Thomas Bryant and Dennis Schroeder.
But if I'm Rob Pelinka, I'm looking at him and saying, really? You want me to go and get what? Bojan Bogdanovic is going to put us over the top? Like, they're not close enough that what's available on the trade market is going to put him over the top and make him a championship team. I know LeBron believes that, and he should. But if I'm Rob Pelinka, I need to be, and I'll say this, so don't take this the wrong way, about front office and coaches versus players. Your competitiveness sort of blurs your vision a little bit. I need to be the adult.
100%.
I need to be the adult in the room and think a little bit more clearly and big picture than you, and I can't sacrifice this franchise on the whims of LeBron James. I can't.
Should Brock in Philly concern 49ers fans? We'll talk about that next.
Cattles
and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. The only place you'll find Kevin Herter is Sactown Sports.
Herter's open, steps into three. He's got the triple.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Kevin Herter, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
For your everyday vehicle. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP oil filter for only $26.99. Do the complete job for the right price. Get the parts you need when you need them at AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
And now another no-brainer money-saving tip from Progressive.
It looks like your luggage is over 50 pounds. Is there anything you can take out?
Oh, yeah. Let me just toss all these $20 bills.
Great. Let me grab you a trash can.
Stop. Instead of throwing money away, move some clothes into a carry-on. And here's a better tip from Progressive on how not to waste money. Don't pay too much for car insurance. Drivers who switch and save could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary.
What does it feel like to file with TaxSlayer and get your guaranteed maximum refund? It feels like the last level of a video game, facing off against the final boss who stands between you and your refund.
All your refund is belong to me.
Using the power of TaxSlayer like a secret power-up he doesn't see coming.
Only the most tax-confident can defeat me.
Throwing your laptop at his video game face and watching him crumble into a giant pile of shiny coin tax refunds.
Oh, not fair. You use TaxSlayer.
Save up to 80% when you file with TaxSlayer. Start for free.
The show is sponsored by BetterHelp. When you're at your best, you can do great things. Working with a therapist can help you get closer to the best version of yourself. BetterHelp is a great therapy option. It's flexible, affordable, and entirely online. Let therapy help empower you. Visit BetterHelp.com/herd. BetterHelp.com/herd to get 10% off your first month. BetterHelp. HELP.com/herd.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. You're driving along and some nimrod cuts you off. You hit the horn. Jeez, it sounds like a goose in distress. Time to head over to eBay Motors. They have horns for every make and model, not to mention horn pads, steering wheels, wiring, and more. 122 million parts. You can even go for an upgrade. It looks like Mr. Cutoff Man needs a new seat cover. Try eBay Motors, pal. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. When the prospect of divorce becomes a reality, you need a partner that you can count on. If you're a man in this situation, consider contacting Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men navigate complex legal matters for 30 years.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Sacramento area attorneys, a partner men can count on. 500 Capitol Mall, Suite 2060, Sacramento, California, 95814. Online at CordellCordell.com.
My heart was racing just making spaghetti. I could have waited to tell my doctor, but I didn't wait.
I was short of breath just reading a book. I could have delayed telling my doctor, but I didn't wait.
They told their doctors and found out they have atrial fibrillation, a condition which makes it about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. If you have one or more of these symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness, this is no time to wait. Contact your doctor.
Brought to you by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
KHTK AM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your local sports leader in the 916. This is Sactown Sports. Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
With your Sactown Sports headlines, I'm Simone Rickford. Good people of Sacramento and disciples of the beam rejoice. Kings announced yesterday that General Manager Monte McNair has agreed to a multi-year contract extension. The contract for the Kings' Assistant General Manager Wes Wilcox has also been extended. The announcement is widely welcomed as McNair has been considered instrumental in ascending the franchise into Western Conference contention. Kings take on the Toronto Raptors tonight to conclude their January homestand at Golden One Center. If there wasn't already enough to cheer for, with a win over the Raptors tonight, Sacramento can improve to 9 games over 500, their best start since the 2004-2005 season. Stay tuned for all of your Beam Watch coverage right here on Sactown Sports, starting with game night at 5:30 following Cattles and Ramie. I'm Simone. Those are your Sactown Sports headlines. Next, the fellas are going to break down Brock Purdy in the city of brotherly love. Coming up right now on Cattles and Ramie.
One brings Makloff magic, while the other, we're still trying to figure that out.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
Did you see they had the actual Lil Jon, I should say, in the house at Levi Stadium on Sunday?
I did not see that.
Yeah.
They show him during the game?
Arrowhead?
Yeah, it was definitely
was it Arrowhead?
Casey.
My bad. That was at Arrowhead.
But he was there.
He was there. He was in the house.
Well, I'm glad I'm not the only one that didn't see him down in Santa Clara because he wasn't there.
I knew I had a memory of him performing and wearing all red. So, my bad.
You had 2 chances.
My bad.
It's okay. Those things happen, Ramie.
It was weird though. Like during the game, Lil Jon was just
they just show him on camera and he was like, "Yay!"
No, he was performing. Like
he
had dancers around him.
Yeah.
It was a whole thing. Yeah.
It was nice. It was a good production, in my opinion. No one asked.
Wait a minute. This was on TV?
Yes.
Just for a second.
Yeah, NBC showed it when they were like cutting out of Maria Taylor's halftime. They showed him performing. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention to halftime.
You good?
Should have been. Lil Jon was putting on a show.
Really? It's like must-see TV?
He's reached the halftime entertainment portion of his career.
Like I should regret not seeing Lil Jon?
Yeah, I think so.
I did okay. I had no idea he was even on the field.
I associate him more with the Chappelle sketch now than I do his actual music.
I think a lot of
probably
people
ain't right, but that's how I feel.
It's very right. I think a lot of people do that.
Word association for me is Vegas.
Has he done anything in the last 10 years?
I don't know.
He has? I don't know.
know.
Kyle's shaking his head. He has. Okay.
Not saying he's topping the charts like he was in 2011, but he's still putting out music.
My apologies to Lil Jon not knowing his catalog the last decade. I lost track.
I'm going to Google it right now.
Sorry, buddy.
Don't make me tell you a song.
It's on me. Cattles and Ramie on a Wednesday, 3:03. Happy hump day, everybody. Let's get back to the Niners. Let's get back to Brock Purdy. There seems to be 2 sides of the Purdy story nationally, Ramie. We talked about the first one at the beginning of the show, and that's not even national. That was local from Dante Whitner, which is, he's the second coming of Tom Brady. And it seems to me that the laziness.
That was actually said.
Yes, that's exactly
actually said.
It's exactly what he actually said.
What?
It seems to me that like when we have these kinds of stories, it's like the person is either the next big thing for people and they want to pump it and pump it and pump it. But then you also have another large sector of people that are like almost waiting for the person to fail.
Right.
Because they look at Dante Whitner and they look at people really pumping the tires and they're like, oh my God, I just want this to stop. Right. And that's why I say it's unfair to Purdy.
That's you.
No, I don't want it to stop. I want the great story to continue. I want us to go at a reasonable pace here. So you have the people that say next big thing. You have the people that are, waiting for Purdy to fail. And the topic of conversation all week is going to be Purdy and how he performs in this NFC Championship game, specifically on the road at Philly. Here's Colin Cowherd this week.
We got 4 quarterbacks left. 3 are really special. And then there's Brock Purdy. He is accurate. I think he makes really smart, quick decisions. That was the knock on him, right? He could be erratic in college. I didn't watch enough of him in college to have a strong opinion. He also has a great offensive head coach, a stacked roster, lots of weapons. Even the backup, Elijah Mitchell's a gamer. So now comes NFL reality. Now comes a physical equal on the road, a better quarterback. So the difference between beating Dak at home and beating Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia on the road feel like different galaxies to me.
All fair points, I thought, made by Colin, which we'll get to. But how
much do you think he saw Brock Purdy?
Yeah, I was just going to say, if people heard me kind of mutter under the Colin Cowherd sound there, I feel like we need to call out Colin on this. When somebody who's like Colin Cowherd, a national person, says, I didn't see a lot of Brock Purdy.
That means none.
I could almost guarantee you Colin Cowherd had no idea who Brock Purdy was when he was drafted.
Didn't know Brock Purdy existed.
Which is not
until he started games for the 49ers.
Which, not a big deal.
No.
I didn't know who Brock Purdy was.
I was a big Brock Purdy guy.
I would say I've never seen him play.
You weren't watching Iowa State football?
It's kind of,
Can I pull LeBron and say I knew Brock Purdy was going to be great back when he was at Iowa State?
You say, when from my
he won a Fiesta Bowl.
From my history of breaking down Brock Purdy tape, I knew he was going to be something special.
Man. I knew
the moment I laid my eyes on him. So just a little aside there. You didn't watch him, Colin. I doubt you watched any of him, and I doubt you had any clue as to who he was until he played a game with the San Francisco 49ers. So that's Colin Cowherd. Then you had Jason La Canfora on the In the Huddle podcast.
Brock Purdy's played 2 road games. One was at Seattle, which is a team that they know very well, and they had Seattle's number all year. The other was at the Raiders, which was basically a 49ers home game, because that's what happens there. He hasn't played. This is a whole nother level.
I don't know if he was doing that from his bathroom. The echo bothered me, but
that?
I don't know. But so La Canfora, again, brings up some good points about Purdy being on the road. Ramie, if you're the Niners, you're a Niners fan, if you're getting ready for this game on Sunday and you have a very, very heavy rooting interest, are you concerned about Brock being on the road this Sunday, NFC Championship on the line?
Maybe slightly. I think we did see in the first playoff game a little bit of jitters. The way that he started that game against Seattle, there was some sort of layups that he missed and that were off the mark. And I think some of that was just a little bit of being overamped and some jitters going into the playoffs. Maybe. I mean, Philadelphia is a different place. Fair point. That was La Canfora. That was La Canfora, right?
Yes.
Talking about the 2 road games?
Yes.
Fair point that he makes about having just played 2 road games and one of those being in Las Vegas, which can be kind of home territory for the 49ers. They tend to travel well there. But I said this yesterday, Nick. I still wonder if folks are going to figure out Brock Purdy from an X's and O's standpoint and exploit whatever weaknesses there are there that led to him being the last guy taken in the NFL draft. That I do wonder if he's going to turn into a pumpkin, as you like to say, from that sense. One thing I don't really doubt or wonder about Brock Purdy is this guy being ready for a moment. You know what I mean? And things not being too big for him not being overwhelmed. He's shown time and time again, man, that's one aspect of his game that I think you can be pretty confident and sure in, that moments really aren't too big for this dude. He's as cool and calm and collected as they come in situations that might get the best of other young quarterbacks.
He has shown a lot of poise given the circumstances, no doubt, but I would be concerned. I do have a level of concern about Purdy and what he's going to be able to do on Sunday. And I think if you don't have that question in your mind, then you are just being a blind optimist. I think anybody in this kind of circumstance needs to prove themselves before you say, okay, he's totally ready to go and I have zero question about him. The La Canfora point, he stole some of my thunder because I did look this up before I heard the sound today to see how many away games Brock has played. And as La Canfora said, he's played 2 games on the road, and one of them was at Vegas. And I don't even want to look at, Vegas is mostly a home game, because that's true. Vegas is pretty much a home game for any team that travels there. But when you look at the 2 teams he played, Seattle's defense is not good. Vegas's defense is literally one of the worst defenses in all of football.
Sure.
So not only did he only play 2 games on the road, with one of them being in Vegas, which at least was 50-50 split between fans, he had the great fortune of playing 2 bad defenses with a loaded offensive team around him. So this is going to be not only his toughest road test just from the crowd, because don't get it twisted, folks. We know Philly's different. So it's going to be a very difficult challenge with that crowd, number one. But this is the best team by far, the best defense that he's played
for sure
on the road.
That I'm more worried about than I am of the road game and it being Philly.
I mean, this is the 1 seed in the NFC, Ramie.
Right.
This team's talented.
That I worry about. That I maybe he's just overmatched from a football standpoint, and that gets the best of him. But as far as being intimidated or being nervous, at least not to the extent that it would get some guys. Like I said, we saw a little bit of that in the divisional game or in the wild card game.
Yeah.
But he tends to calm down pretty quick, man. Settle in pretty quick.
I would also say when we look at his first 2,
Tom Brady.
When we look at his first 2 playoff games, his first half against Seattle wasn't good. His second half was good. Last week, he was okay.
Last week was just an ugly game.
I don't think Brock's looked great so far in the playoffs. So this is a bigger challenge against a more talented team. Not saying he can't play well. Again, I'm not saying he can't do this. All I'm saying is before I see somebody go against the number 1 seed in the conference on the road in a very tumultuous environment like Philadelphia, with that defensive line coming after him, yeah, I would have at least some concern. I think it's a natural thing to have some concern. If you're walking into this going, I ain't worried at all.
No, my concern is that he's just not good enough, or that he's exposed in terms of, like I said, some of the weaknesses or holes in his game that led to him being the last guy taken in the NFL draft and the guy who was 3rd on the depth chart when this season started. That I worry about. The nervousness and the jitters getting the best of him. I don't really worry too much about that.
We also, another part of it is, the weather and
that is a fact.
What's going to happen in Philly, because, Vegas is nice and warm, and, Santa Clara is mostly nice.
I'm sure he saw some snow and some cold playing at Iowa State, though.
Yeah.
Iowa State is a terrible place.
He wasn't playing against the Eagles, though, at Iowa State. So
that is true.
It's the combination we're talking about here. Do you have any concern about Brock Purdy's first road playoff game at Philly on Sunday? I would. I think it's only natural and reasonable to have at least some concern about it. 916-339-1140 is the text line. The phone number is 1-800-920-1140. Swing on by YouTube, youtube.com, Sactown Sports 1140. Don't forget to give us that thumbs up. Little effort from you helps us an awful lot. The more thumbs up, the more eyeballs get to watch the product, and the bigger the community grows, which is always important to us. So check us out, youtube.com, Sactown Sports 1140. Jason Anderson from the Sacramento Bee will join us in just over 15 minutes. But coming up in 90 seconds, an NBA insider proposes a Keegan Murray trade.
Cattles
and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports goes 100% live and local.
From 6 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Starting January 23rd. Tune into Carmichael, Dave, and Jason Ross from 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. Followed by the return of Deuce and Mo.
Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Followed by Cattles and Ramie from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. You wanted more local? We're giving you more local on Sactown Sports. Your local sports leader.
This is Monster Jam!
See the legendary Gravedigger and more tear up the dirt with massive stunts, all-out racing, and crazy skills. It's adrenaline-charged fun for the whole family.
Let's hear it! Make some noise!
Monster Jam, as big as it gets. Coming to Golden One Center this weekend. Tickets start at $20. Brought to you by BKT Tires.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda,
Your one-stop Honda shop. Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
With you 1 mile at a time during the afternoon drive. Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
It is 3:15 on this Wednesday. Time check brought to you by Coastside Medical Clinic. Get back to the Kings here in a minute. Want to remind you that Jason Anderson of the Sacramento Bee will join us in 15 minutes to talk about Monte McNair's contract extension and much, much more. Cole G, YouTube channel, youtube.com, Sactown Sports 1140. I think we need to recognize the flawed draft evaluation process, especially with QBs. If you are 6'1" or shorter, they find all kinds of holes in your game. 6'2" or taller, you have quote-unquote potential. That's part of it, but I don't want to pigeonhole everybody. Kyler Murray's a very short quarterback.
Sure, if you show special talent.
Yeah, if you have I think NFL evaluators are just looking for something that pops. Like if your skill level is average and you are an average athlete and you are of an average build and height, then you're likely going to fall through the cracks.
I wasn't going to say it, but Cole G brought it up. I'd be playing quarterback in the NFL right now if I was a little bit taller.
If you were a little bit taller?
If I was like 6'3",
if you were a baller?
6'3", yeah.
6'3", that's all it takes?
Yeah, I think 6'3", 6'4" is the threshold for most guys, yeah.
Leonard Keene says, calm, cool, and
skip
collective.
right past that, huh?
Yep. Calm, cool, and collective Brock Purdy is.
Throw a ball right over the mountains.
So, yeah, I mean, I think when you're evaluating quarterbacks, like Brock Purdy is I mean, I don't think
I hope
I'm trying to measure my words because everybody listening is like, yeah, I always feel like I've got to tiptoe through talking about Brock Purdy because, they're in the NFC Championship game. I get it. I went through this with the Jimmy G stuff too. Brock Purdy, if you're an NFL evaluator and you're looking at Brock Purdy, what stands out to you when you're comparing him to other quarterbacks? Like he didn't play for a very tippity-top program. He didn't play in the SEC or anything, right? He's not, this wonderful specimen like Trey Lance coming out. He's not an incredible athlete. He doesn't have, a fire hose of an arm. His qualities are football IQ, being able to go through his progressions, process things quickly, right? That's really what he does well. I also would say this, and I think we fall into this habit with a lot of sports and a lot of players that get drafted. Just because Brock Purdy has done what he's done in San Francisco doesn't mean he would have done it in any other city with any other team.
No.
Like, let's recognize that he's got the best left tackle in the game. He's got a really good offensive line. He's got a really good play caller. He's got an abundance of ridiculous weapons.
Right.
Like
he was put in a good situation. He was put in a situation almost any quarterback would end.
The best since the Eagles 5 years ago.
Like he was put in a great situation. This is the kind of situation that a quarterback that has his skill set needs to be put in.
You know who else
to get the most out of the team like they've been able to the last 7 weeks.
You know who else was sort of forced into a great situation due to injury? Tom Brady, Nick.
Yep.
Tom Brady.
Stetson Bennett.
And Stetson Bennett.
Indeed. All right, let's get to the Kings. Cattles and Ramie, Sactown Sports on this Wednesday. Keegan has been nails in January, 14-6. He's averaging his shooting percentages, by the way, 52, 51, and 90.
It's pretty good.
Woo-hoo. It's ridiculous.
That's pretty good.
as I mentioned earlier, Ramie, the trade deadline is 2 weeks from tomorrow. It's coming up quick. You have the Raptors tonight. Toronto, by the way, 21-27. There's some pressure on the Raptors. A lot of people think Masai Ujiri, GM of Toronto, is going to pull the trigger on at least one trade, if not multiple deals. One of the names that's been mentioned is OG Anunoby. He's averaging 17 and 6. He also has 2 assists and 2 steals per game. He's a really good defender. And Michael Scotto of Hoops Hype, Ramie, this week, threw out a hypothetical. He asked the question, would the Kings be willing to trade Keegan Murray for OG Anunoby? I ask you that question. Would you be willing to trade Keegan for OG?
Nah, I don't think so, man. I mean, he's doing what he's doing as a rookie. This is his first taste of the NBA, Nick, and he's about to have his second rookie of the month here in January. He's on pace to, as Frankie Cardicelli, our Kings insider, pointed out yesterday. I don't think, and again, nobody is untouchable. I don't think I'm trading that guy. I've said this before. I think he has legit potential to be a number 3, if not a number 2, in a legit contending big 3 for an NBA team. And I think with what you got going here, what you got building, an Anunoby trade, I don't even know if you're upgrading for right now, but let's say you are upgrading right now in terms of the talent on this roster. It's still it's a little bit short-sighted, Nick. And I know they're very much in win now mode, but you also are building the foundation for something that could be long-lasting and build into something special if it keeps on the trajectory that it is now. I'm willing to part with some players that contribute on this team, and I'm even willing to part for Keegan Murray, just not for an OG Anunoby.
I agree with you. I would not pull the trigger on a deal for OG. First things first is, look, he's not old. He's 26, but he's 25 going on 26. He's 3 years older than Keegan. So you're gonna get somebody who's 3 years older, which in some instances is better for you because he's more experienced. He's been a part of some runs. He understands like what it takes in the postseason and in some of these tight big games as we get closer to the playoffs. But he's 3 years older. He's got a player option coming up at 24-25, which I could guarantee you he's going to, bypass and walk into free agency. So you would have to pay him some big bucks. And now you're looking at what? You're looking at paying Fox, Domas, and OG as your big 3? I'm not in love with that idea.
Yeah.
And, I also I know who OG Anunoby is as a player, and I think he's good. I think he is a good player. And he might be even better than what we think he is if he's out of Toronto, because you got Pascal Siakam, you got Fred VanVleet with the basketball in their hands an awful lot. You've got Scotty Barnes. I mean, there's a lot of people on that team that can score the ball and have it in their hands. So maybe OG in a different situation with different context would look even better. But I still feel like, Keegan, we don't know what his full potential is. We don't know what he is going to become. He's 22. Started playing basketball, a little bit later than other people do. We know the story coming out of high school. He had pretty much no Division I offers and had to scrape and claw. So I'd stick with Keegan. OG to me is not a big enough upgrade to justify trading Keegan Murray.
Yeah, if I was going to trade Keegan Murray, it would have to be for a bona fide number 2 or number 3 on a championship team. Keegan would have to be part of a package that was returning that.
Leonard Keane says not trading Keegan. Javier Flores says no. Cole G says nope. Greg Hyatt, once Keegan gets a bit more aggressive driving to the lane and gets his mid-range game down, he's good for 20-plus per game. Book it. I'm not touching him. MC says Keegan is our Tim Duncan. Look, I would say Keegan is definitely the Tim Duncan when it comes to personality. I don't want to fall into the whole Keegan's the second coming of Tim Duncan. Let's not do that. But I do think as far as, personality, comportment, the way he handles adversity, kind of calm and cool. Yeah, you could. That's Tim Duncan was like that.
Is Brock Purdy the next Tim Duncan?
Brock Purdy is the second coming of Tim Duncan.
Let's start with Bruce Bowen.
Wow. Now that's too low. You're setting the bar too low, Kyle.
I mean, I'd
that's an overcorrection.
Yeah,
is what they call that.
That's
Bruce Bowen made 8 all defensive teams.
Great,
cool,
good for Bruce Bowen.
If Keegan makes 2 all defensive teams, it will be a successful pick.
If Keegan Murray, if his ceiling is Bruce Bowen, Monty McNair did it wrong. The 4th pick overall.
Oh, you are disrespecting Bruce Bowen.
No, I don't think he is. I think he's right.
I think
our friend Henry Turner will not be happy. Stand up, Cal State Fullerton.
I think Nick is spot on with this one.
Very good defender, that Bruce Bowen. Could knock down the occasional 3.
Rocks a bow tie really well, too.
Very confident.
Very confident in the bow tie game.
Very confident.
I couldn't pull it off. Keegan Murray couldn't pull off his bow tie game, I don't think, either. Takes a certain swagger.
It
pull
does.
off the bow tie.
It does indeed. All right, Jason Anderson of the Sac B joins us to discuss Monty's extension and more next.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by the Arnold Law Firm.
I'm Dirk Verdorn in the KCRA3 Weather Center. Expect to have a beautiful afternoon with plenty of sunshine, winds anywhere from 5 to 15 miles per hour, and temperatures warming into the lower 60s. Similar weather expected over the next couple of days. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA3 News and the KCRA3 app.
The recent storm has caused dangerous driving conditions for us. The Arnold Law Firm has seen how a collision can turn anyone's life upside down. Be alert and stay safe. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777.
I remember as if it were yesterday. I reached down to move a nightstand and was astonished at the weight of the piece. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. At that moment, I instantly recognized the difference between Naturewood's quality furniture that will last a lifetime versus lesser quality furniture found elsewhere. Now, I suppose there's a huge difference in what you'd put in your first apartment and what you would live with in the comfort of your own home. Right now, Naturewood Home Furnishings Made in USA sale is a great time to fill your home with solid, superior quality furniture to reflect your own love for life. With brands like Sam Moore, Stanton, Stickley, Hilltop Hickory, Simply Amish, and many more, Naturewood Home Furnishings has tables, chairs, couches, and, yes, nightstands, and more at their Made in USA sale. Find furniture that will be with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
It's hard to find a better selection of 4x4s in stock and ready to drive home today than you'll find at M&S Auto on El Camino right off the Cap City Freeway. New truck prices keep rising. M&S invites you to tour their selection of super clean 4x4s and trucks and save thousands. Tacomas, F-150s, Jeeps, Rams, Silverados. Great deals today on hundreds of 4x4s, SUVs, and muscle cars. First-time buyers are welcome. M&S Auto Sales, El Camino, just off the Cap City Freeway. MSAutogroup.com.
Life is uncertain. It's okay to feel stressed, anxious, worried, or frustrated. CalHope can help. Access CalHope's free and secure mental health resources. Call 833-317-4673 or live chat at calhope.org.
It's time to get your wallet back in top condition. Talkin' Money with Jeff Tarbell is back. Saturdays, 10 a.m. right here on Sactown Sports.
Talkin' Money!
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sactown Sports' IMAX Pass by visiting SactownSports.com and sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's film at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Hagen Oaks is introducing the next generation of speed with the long-awaited Ping G430 line of clubs. With more ball speed, improved sound, and movable weights, the Max Driver is something special. You'll find distance with forgiveness in the fairways, carbon fly wrap in the hybrids, and 7 to 10 yards more in the irons. G430 was worth the wait. Ask about the full line of Ping G430 woods and irons at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, the #1 choice for golfers everywhere. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway or online at HagenOaks.com.
This week during R.C. Willey's Winter Savings Event, you'll find incredible savings in every department. Plus, enjoy coupon savings from $50 up to $200 on your new purchase. Come in today and save in our Rockland or South Sacramento store near Elk Grove. R.C. Willey.
Treat yourself to a new car in the new year. Shop Folsom Lake Kia for your favorite Kia model. Low interest rates, low payments, even zero down deals with approved credit. Over 20 years right here in Sacramento. That's Folsom Lake Kia.
Hagen Oaks wants you to know about the exciting Ping G430 line of drivers. The Max is still the Max, as the 460cc model remains the most forgiving and fits most golfers. The LST with carbon fly wrap technology is best for faster swing speeds, and the SFT straight flight technology features an adjustable back weight. Ping has something for every player. Ask about the full line of Ping G430 woods and irons at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, the #1 choice for golfers everywhere. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway or online at hagenoaks.com.
Sactown Sports
Headlines. With your Sactown Sports headlines, I'm Simone Rickford. Good people of Sacramento and disciples of the Beam rejoice. Kings announced yesterday that General Manager Monte McNair has agreed to a multi-year contract extension. The contract for the Kings' Assistant General Manager Wes Wilcox has also been extended. The announcement is widely welcomed as McNair has been considered instrumental in ascending the franchise into Western Conference contention. Kings take on the Toronto Raptors tonight to conclude their January homestand at Golden One Center. If there wasn't already enough to cheer for, with a win over the Raptors tonight, Sacramento can improve to 9 games over 500, their best start since the 2004-2005 season. Stay tuned for all of your Beam Watch coverage right here on Sactown Sports, starting with game night at 5:30 following Cattles and Ramie. I'm Simone. Those are your Sactown Sports headlines. Don't go anywhere. Kings expert Jason Anderson is here to talk about the Kings. Coming up right now.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and more.
This is Cattles and Ramie
on Sactown Sports.
All right, we broke big news on this show yesterday. Monte McNair getting a contract extension. To talk about that and more, our friend from the Sacramento Bee, Jason Anderson, joins us on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Jason, as always, we appreciate your time. Let me ask you this. Was it a goal for ownership to get this extension done before the trade deadline?
That's an interesting question. I think the way things have played out, I think that definitely makes the most sense. I talked to Vivek about this back in September, and his thing was, let's win. Like, I like everything that these guys are doing. I like the coach they hired. I like the draft picks, the trades they've made. But let's see it. Let's win games. And so I think first and foremost, they wanted to see this work. And then, like, I don't know what world we're living in where the Kings are third in the Western Conference, but it's working. And so, you get to this point, and I think it just made a lot of sense to go ahead and get this deal done now.
I think a lot of Kings fans and we here on the show were wondering, like, what is taking so long with the Monte McNair extension, and sort of wondering if it was going to get done or if it was going to happen. We saw the report from Mark Stein saying early 2023 this thing was going to go down. Did you ever wonder either what was taking so long, if it would happen, or did it feel like a foregone conclusion to you all along?
Well, I mean, I thought it was a foregone conclusion. I just think that ownership was waiting, to my previous point, waiting to see this thing in motion. I've had a sense for quite some time that they were working towards a deal. Like, there was a period of time where I knew there were not discussions taking place. And then I got to a certain point, like, I had a conversation with Monty on the road a month ago, maybe, and we were in Milwaukee, and then we spoke again in Cleveland. And he didn't want to talk about whether they had engaged in talks at that point. But he made it clear he was very happy here, wanted to stay, wanted to see this through. And then more recently, I was in LA for the Lakers game. What was that, over the weekend? And Monty and Vivek had a pretty lengthy courtside chat there before the game. They sat for, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes at least. And that looked like that didn't look like chit chat to me. That looked like, more of a business discussion. And I don't have precise intel on what that conversation was, but it seemed to me at the time that they might have been talking some business.
Jason Anderson with us from the Sacramento Bee. Jason, you talk about what world do we live in with this team as the 3 seed in the Western Conference. Is this deal done with Monty if the Kings aren't winning as much as they are? Let's say if they were hovering around the 5th seed, 6th seed, maybe looking at the play-in right now. Would this deal have been done?
5th or 6th seed, yeah, I think so. If it was anything lower than that and you're in that big bunch of teams that are, there's like 5 or 6 teams that are all within a couple games of each other.
Yeah.
And at that point, I think maybe it's a little more tenuous because like you're really on the edge there of whether this is going to be a successful season or not. And really, the bar was set before the year that the expectations were, let's get to the playoffs. And I think if you're down in that 7, 8, 9, 10 range, there's probably they probably waited out and this thing might have dragged on until the end of the season. But given where they're at in the standings, the way the team's playing, Mike and his staff and the job they're doing. It's just, it's very apparent that Monty and Wes have made a number of really good decisions and haven't missed much. And so, I think for all of those reasons, there was no reason to wait. And especially with the trade deadline coming up, as you guys noted earlier, it just makes perfect sense. You get this deal done now, everybody feels good about it, and it takes any weirdness out of the equation as you get closer to the deadline.
Other than the fact they are the 3 seed, what's been most surprising to you, Jason, about this Kings team and where we are right now?
Well, I don't know. I knew they could be top 10 offensively. Like I've been saying that since the summer. And then the question was on the defensive end if they could pick it up some there. I guess I would. When I was saying top 10, look, I meant, 5 to 10, 8 to 10, something like that. To see them number 1 in scoring, to see them top 5 in offensive rating and true shooting and effective field goal percentage and all these other advanced stats, that to me is better than expected. Of course, their positioning in the standings is better than I think any of us expected. I kind of figured them as like a 7-8 type of team, and wondered if they could punch through to the 6, but they're obviously overperforming there.
Jason Anderson with us. Just one more for you from me, Jason. A big part of the equation here of this success so far is HB. Mike Brown was very complimentary of Harrison Barnes on Monday night, calling him irreplaceable. Mm-hmm. Is he close to untouchable, Jason, right now?
I think he is. I mean, the latest I've heard kind of from inside the Palace walls is that this front office is never satisfied. Those are words I've heard. And their work is never done. So they're going to be engaged in discussions like all over the place. But like, this is a team that was in every trade rumor for 2 years. The first 2 years Monty and Wes were here, as they kind of tried to remake this roster, and they've done that. There's only 3 guys left from when they took over. But now things are pretty quiet, and HB is essential. I mean, you're right. Mike called him irreplaceable, and I don't think that was. I think that there was some purpose in Mike making that point. And he just really is. He's a consummate pro, on and off the court. He can go get you a bucket. He's been lauded for his defense a lot of times, a lot of nights. He's been the DPOG, and he just gives them so much. And there just really aren't a lot of guys like him. So if there's a way to upgrade and maybe you get younger or you get better on the defensive end, then I think you listen and you have those conversations. But I'm not sure I see HB going anywhere. I think it might be more likely at this point that he stays and maybe even signs an extension.
Great stuff, Jason. We always appreciate you, man. Fan of you and friend of the show as always. Enjoy tonight, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
See you. There goes Jason Anderson from Sacramento Bee. All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline, Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Draft Mockery coming up.
Cattles
and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Quick Quack Car Wash.
I'm Mark Finan in the KCRA3 Weather Center. Skies will stay clear tonight. Another chilly night with overnight lows dropping down into the mid-30s. Tomorrow we will have bright sunshine with highs near 60. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA3 News and the KCRA3 app.
Great outdoors, exciting and beautiful, but they're also dusty and muddy. So after every adventure, I head to Quick Quack Car Wash. No one would expect I spent more of my weekend parked on a trail than in my garage. Head to Quick Quack for a shine that lets you defy expectations.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
It all started with a group of cowboys who broke from the mold and wanted more. 30 years later, the ride continues, and the professional bull riders have never been more ranked.
The best ever! We were here for it!
Don't be Celebrate 30 years with 3 huge nights this February 3rd through 5th at the Golden One Center in downtown Sacramento. Tickets are on sale now through Ticketmaster.com or the Golden One Center box office.
Folks, there's a fast break with the game on the line. He dribbles down the court, passes ahead for the alley-oop, and it's caught for a slam dunk.
Do you need an assist? Regain and optimize your performance. See what Pacific Men's Clinic can do to make your love life the best it can be. Pacific Men's Clinic's safe and pain-free, clinically proven procedure breaks up plaque and stimulates the growth of healthy new blood vessels. Call for your free consultation now at 916-545-7577. That's 916-545-7577.
Individual rates, coverage offerings, and savings may vary. Subject to terms and conditions. Not available in all areas. Actual PI customer.
The other workers' comp insurance company, they were going to reclassify our business, and then they were going to charge me $50,000.
Meet Natalie, owner of the carpentry shop. Shocked by an unexpected bill, she knew it was time to switch her workers' comp provider. That's when she found PI Insurance.
When we got the quote back from PI, it was a sigh of relief. They put us in a policy where we fit.
Is your small business overpaying for workers' comp insurance? See how much you could save at trypi.com. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate. So your workers' comp audit experience is simplified.
I'm grateful that there's a company out there that's willing to insure us little guys because every dollar counts.
With PI Insurance, you get pricing and coverage made for small businesses. What are you waiting for? Ask your agent for PI or get a quote in 3 minutes at trypi.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
What's going on? Joined as always by Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Chad, what's up with the Chrysler Start Something New event?
Hoblet is the most trusted dealer in California and is known for having the largest inventory of heavy-duty trucks in the state. We have every type of Ram 2500 heavy-duty available and zero dealer markup. In fact, right now you can save up to $12,000 off MSRP on new 2022 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cabs with financing starting at 1.9% and prices as low as $39,630.
Oh, is that all?
No, that's not it. We also have up to $8,000 off MSRP on new 2022 Ram 1500 Laramie Crew Cabs as well.
What are you waiting for? Stop by the Hoblet Ram Truck Center off County Road 102 and I-5 today, or search, select, and save at HobletDodge.com. Best prices, best selection, period.
$12,000 in total net savings after $6,000 factory rebates and $6,000 dealer discount. Rebates include $2,000 Chrysler Captive bonus cash. Must finance with Chrysler Captive qualify. 1.9% financing available for 36 months on approved credit. $28.61 per $1,000 borrowed. $8,000 total net savings after $2,000 factory rebates and $6,000 dealer discount. 10 at each net savings. See dealer for details.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
As a Walgreens pharmacist, I talk with people all the time about little tips and tricks for filling their Medicare prescriptions, like taking advantage of Walgreens 90-day refills to save them a trip, or using Refill by Scan, which is super easy and right on your phone. And for anybody worried about prescription costs, I say, hey, we got you with low-cost copays on many medications.
Let's talk about making things easier. Walgreens is here. Fill your way and save at walgreens.com/Medicare. See pharmacists for restrictions and exclusions.
With you 1 mile at a time during the afternoon drive. Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
Ramie and I were just talking about this off the air. So the Nuggets will not have Jokic, Murray, KCP, or MPJ tonight. And this is a problem. And I know a lot of people have talked about load management over the last, several years. Load management. And Adam Silver's trying to get to the bottom of it and figure things out. But this year is an even bigger issue because you're not just seeing like some of the stars sit out like usual. This year, more than any other I can remember, you're having like 3, 4, 5 dudes sit out. Like the other night when Golden State had pretty much everybody sit out. Tonight, what the Nuggets are doing, that's above and beyond load management. Like space these games out, man. You got 4 or 5 cats sitting down. That's just it's a joke. You might as well just mostly fire that game into the sun.
This is one of those things where I get everybody's side of it. You know what I mean? I get why coaches are doing it. It's strategic. You're trying to gear yourself up to be in the best shape that you can be come playoff time and want guys to be well rested and have their legs when that time of season comes around. And I understand fans who show up, and tonight it was supposed to be Giannis versus Jokic. You know what I mean? The last 2 winners of the MVP award going head to head. And I'm sure people paid a lot of money for those tickets and they're disappointed. I get both sides of it.
Oh yeah, give me your booze. I am nourished by your hatred.
What I'm tired of is every year some poor kid has to become the crying face.
It happened last night. Did you see what happened at Miami?
That's exactly what I'm referring to.
They made it right. They made it right, though.
Some poor kid has to be the crying face of the problem with NBA load management. And I
don't have a problem with load management, but I have a problem when it's like 3, 4, 5 players like that. I understand resting your star. I understand resting multiple players every once in a while, but there's
if I'm Eric Spoelstra, your kid's just going to have to cry. I think this is what's best for the team. Like
put it on the ticker. Ramie thinks Eric Spoelstra hates children.
Your kid's just going to have to cry. I'm sorry.
Cry, baby, cry. Okay, take your sign elsewhere. I'm calling the shots.
Oh, yeah, give me your booze. I am nourished by your hatred.
I can't coach to avoid the tears of children. That's not my job description. You know what I mean?
Deal with it.
Exactly.
It's a problem for your mom or your dad, okay? They can deal with you. I'm a coach. Not worried about anything other than coaching.
Yeah.
It's what I do for a living.
Tears to yourself.
Capital Casino is conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. Let's get to some mockery draft mockery action.
Draft mockery.
We're in the room and we're checking boards. Do you think we're being serious? Nah.
It's the mockery draft.
We do have a music bed for this. I just realized after I heard the open. A little behind the scenes action. Kyle came in and said, "You guys have a music bed with the
remember where it is? Could Kyle
draft
find
mock?
it
That's the
quick?
problem.
I can just play some more Troye Sivan if you like.
And the problem is I don't know where these things are. Somebody should have told Kyle. But that's not what happened.
That's music.
It certainly is music.
That is music.
That is music. I don't know if it's got the vibe of the draft mockery, but here we go. All right, so
it's a good song. People under 25 will know.
Today's draft mockery. It's not about what song it is. It's about the beats. Yeah, this is a slow jam. Pretty much.
The lights in here.
This isn't really.
I should hold hands.
This isn't
we'll get something else.
This isn't screaming like let's have fun and this is upbeat. This is like we're gonna go out on a Friday night, me and you, baby, by candlelight.
This is the scene in the movie where the two love interests are running towards each other in slow motion in the rain.
I should make Ramie read the lyrics to this song.
I'd rather not. All right, I think I'd rather not.
All right, let's get to it. So here's the deal. Today's draft mockery. Ramie came up with this.
I did.
And I've literally been working on this during the show because Ramie decided at, when was this?
You put too much thought and effort and care into this.
While Nick is on the road.
We do this, and then it goes into the ether, and we never have to think about it again. Why do you?
Because I want to come up with really good thoughts and ideas. God forbid, Nick.
This is just a fun, silly segment. What are you stressing out over?
I didn't say stressful. I didn't say I was stressed.
You implied that there was stress involved. That's a better sound.
I want to have a good draft. I want to come up with good things that we can discuss.
He just wants you to care, Ramie.
No, God forbid. God forbid Nick puts thought into the radio show.
Amen.
My fault, Ramie.
I got notes here.
Stop it.
All right, here we go.
Ideas.
All right, here we go. Your favorite things.
Relax.
By the way, here's Ramie's note today as he sits here and talks to me about overthinking.
Yeah.
For draft mockery, I've been trying to come up with something. Going off that. Hold on. I don't need the peanut gallery. Let me get through this.
God, I said this. Damn it.
For draft mockery, I've been trying to come up with something going off that athletic article Simone shared about the beam. And I think I've been overthinking it.
Yeah, I corrected myself. I was like, stop it. You're overthinking it. This is simple. What are your favorite things about this Kings run? It could be the beam. It could be the defensive player, the game chain. It could be the evolution of Keegan Murray.
We're going to
be a number of things.
Can you stop?
Simone, make your first pick.
You're the worst. Yo, hold on. You're the guy that when you're at the fantasy draft, you walk in and you're just like, has this guy been picked yet? How about that guy? How about that guy?
3 obvious examples.
Can we actually just have the draft?
Again, calm down.
Can we actually have the draft,
Let's do
Ramie?
it. Let's go.
I would like to.
What are we waiting for? Why do you guys keep on
You're the worst.
keep vamping?
All right, Simone, Ramie, Nick, Kyle, that's the order.
All right, me.
Simone.
Short and simple, baby. Give me the beam.
Yeah,
Place of worship specifically.
That's
All right.
got to be the number
beam,
one pick.
It's pretty much everybody's
That's
number one or number two,
pick,
no
yeah.
doubt about that. It's all right. Like draft mockery, take the low-hanging fruit.
Exactly.
It's like if LeBron is number is in the draft, take LeBron.
I mean, Victor Wembanyama is staring you in the face. You got to draft Victor
No, thank you.
Wembanyama.
I know that's classic, but anyways.
All right, Ramie.
For me, it's been Mike Brown. Getting to know Mike Brown, the screaming at media day.
Yep.
The turn the bleeping Jets on and running down the court with his guys. Everything about. I didn't know Mike Brown all that well before he became the head coach of the Sacramento Kings. I love that guy, and I think he's the driving force behind this turnaround for the Kings and the culture change.
Domas. Everything about Domas, his level of play, the consistency, the fact he's doing this with a broken freaking thumb, his competitiveness. Domas is so fun, so good. Deuce said the other day he's already in his top 5 of all-time Kings. And he hasn't even been here a full year yet. And Deuce, look, I respect Deuce.
He knows his stuff.
He knows his stuff, man.
He hasn't played a full season.
I'm going to go with Domas, everything about him.
All right.
Back to back, Kyle.
Wow, I did not think this would be available. I'll take the defensive player, the game chain.
You love the chain. I can get in round
and then for my round 2 pick, I'm going to take us back a little bit. I'm going to go the Band-Aids. Remember that?
I wasn't a fan of the Band-Aids.
Remember the Band-Aid?
It was...
Okay.
Look, the first 2 games of the Band-Aid was good, but then it was forced.
But that's okay.
No,
We're
it's
having
not.
fun.
No.
And Malik hasn't played as well since.
No, it's not. He just said no. It's not okay.
It's not okay. Malik Monk didn't even like it. It was a forced story. De'Aaron hated it.
It was wonderful. We were all. I walked into the studio one day and Simone just had a Band-Aid on. It was great.
It happened on It happened on a Friday, and by Monday, I was like,
that could have not died quick enough.
I was like, I'm gonna wear a Band-Aid on the show on Monday, and by Monday, I was like, this has already been so done.
So I'll take the Band-Aid then. Since everyone else is opposed, I'll take the Band-Aid.
It's fine. Hey, look, this is subjective. You took the Band-Aid. Just saying, for me, I just wasn't a big fan of the Band-Aid. All right, for me, I'm up next. No music.
Music died.
The day the
I ran out of bed. Okay, we played the whole Drake song.
Play it again. No,
from the
top.
top.
We're going back to Troye Sivan.
I'm gonna go back to before Thanksgiving. The 7-game win streak. I feel like that was the first time when we started to say to ourselves,
"This might be something.
This team could actually be pretty good, pretty good." And so I think that streak at the beginning of the season was kind of the launching pad to all of it, to all of what we've talked about so far. That win streak got everybody to at least start to believe in the idea that this team could be good.
Right.
Golden one. Is it back around to me or is it Simone? I'm sorry. I always get messed up with the order.
Back around to you.
Back around to me. Golden One Center and Kings fans. I got to go to my first game a couple weeks ago. Nick, I know you finally broke the curse last week when you got out there.
Yeah.
It is, man, I've been in plenty of arenas, and I'm not going to tell you it's like the best game day experience I've ever had, but it's up there, man. And Kings fans are showing up and showing out. And honestly, they deserve better. When you look at the Kings home record, they deserve a little bit better than what they've gotten. But yeah, it's loud. I love the Keegan Murray chant, the people racing out to see the beam afterwards. Doko is a party after a Kings win if you walk out outside the arena. And it's a party right now at Golden One Center and the surrounding area on the night of a Kings win.
All right, Simone, you got back-to-back.
Back-to-back. This is, I'm a little bit on the fence. It's kind of teetering into, this is technically from the California Classic, but the guys that went viral on Twitter with like, we're going to get 40 wins.
You're going to win 40 wins, baby.
I follow one of them. Shout out to Sean. That's all I know. But they have a piece of my heart. So that's one of my picks. And then just my quality of life. You know, I'm grateful for my quality of life through this run.
That's directly tied to the Kings.
That sounds healthy.
Wow.
Absolutely. And I know that struck a chord with a lot of people listening right now. So I mean it.
Quality
of life is
I feel like
better.
that should have been the first pick
Because
overall.
yeah, I mean, if it's
quality of
wrong.
life. All right, Ramie, you're next.
Last thing here. Keegan Murray, man. Watching that kid little smile last week. You see when Domas put him in the headlock?
Yes.
And gave him the old noogie
I did.
after he hit the big three, and you saw Keegan smile a little bit. I feel like we're literally going to watch this dude, not just as a basketball player, but his personality. We're going to watch this dude blossom and become the grown man that he's destined to be in this league. I've loved watching the evolution of Keegan Murray.
Breaking the Cattle's curse.
Yeah.
That was fun. Everything that led up to it last. So I thought that was fun. We had a lot of fun on the air. It was great on Twitter. People were awesome. Had a lot of fun with that. So I'll run with that. Kyle, last not least.
This is one that was my personal favorite moment of the year. People probably don't remember it. Kevin Huerter's game winner against the Utah Jazz.
I was there. Absolutely, we remember it.
That was my favorite moment of the season. It's the most fun I've had all year.
It's all good stuff.
All the threes, all the 3-pointers.
Oh my God! I've got the national media finally acknowledging the team and fans and giving them the love that they deserve.
That's been cool.
Especially the fans. This city has always gotten a bad rep because they need to move the team out of the city as if it's the fans' fault that they haven't played.
Colin
great.
Cowherd said they should move him. Like they just built a new arena, and he was like, "Yeah, they should move him to Seattle."
50 Cent's shameless attachment to the Kings.
There's that.
Yes.
I love
one of my favorites.
I love the fake 50 fandom. It's
Slanging his booze all
Can I
over.
just add
Golden
Matthew
One Center.
Dellavedova? Just the entire concept of Delhi.
just the idea.
Category.
All right. Matthew Dellavedova.
A lot of stuff to be thankful for, and a lot of things about this season have been fun, and hopefully it continues. Up next, how do we feel about Vivek now that the Monty extension is done?
Cattles
and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
For your everyday vehicle. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP oil filter for only $26.99. Do the complete job for the right price. Get the parts you need when you need them at AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Hi guys, it's Mark. Are you struggling with ED? Did you know that a major medical breakthrough is now available and it isn't a pill? Today, Wednesday, January 25th, we're running a one-day special you won't want to miss out on. Coastside Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. This is a technology clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. It's backed by 60 clinical studies, including from Cambridge. If you're ready to regain that spark, today is your day. Call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. You'll also get a gift that can produce rapid and powerful results in minutes. You're going to love that one, guys. Trust me. And today only, we're offering 6 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This is an unprecedented offer worth hundreds of dollars, but call today and qualify totally free. Call 916-603-2000. That's 916 1-800-603-2000. Guys, put a stop to your ED and get your life back. Call Coastside Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today, Wednesday, 916-603-2000.
Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, continues their $500 primetime football giveaway through the playoffs. That's $500 per game for the late games played Saturday and Sunday night. Still located conveniently downtown in a friendly environment for the best food, best service, and best actions. It's Capital Casino, open 24/7. And please, as always, remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
The world has changed a lot these last few years. You can do pretty much anything from your home, including order your new Honda from Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Check out our great selection at StocktonHonda.com or come in today and get pre-approved all in the blink of an eye. Stockton Honda makes buying a car simple and stress-free.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Everyone knows time is money, so don't wait weeks for the IRS to send out your tax refund. Go to Jackson Hewitt instead for up to $3,500 with a no-interest, no-fee tax refund advance loan. With up to $3,500, you could bring home the bacon and bring it home today. Money now instead of later? That's worth its weight in gold. Don't wait weeks for your refund. Go to Jackson Hewitt today. For eligible clients, loans by Republic Bank and Trust Company. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
Welcome, Doug Christie here for the Good Feet Store with a question. How is the game of basketball like the Good Feet Store? And the answer is the very best basketball players do it all. Shoot, defend, rebound, they do it all. And the Good Feet Store does it all too. Good Feet manufactures their own line of arch supports, over 300 styles, sizes, and flexibilities. Good Feet arch support specialists at every store personally fit every customer for free with no obligation. Lastly, Good Feet sells its arch supports exclusively at over 200 Good Feet stores nationwide. Sore feet, aching back, knee or hip pain, even plantar fasciitis? When nothing else works, come to the Good Feet Store and experience the comfort, balance, and support of the Good Feet 3-step arch support system. The Good Feet Store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville off Nut Tree Parkway by Sprout, online at goodfeet.com.
It's hard to find a better selection of 4x4s in stock and ready to drive home today than you'll find at M&S Auto on El Camino right off the Cap City Freeway. New truck prices keep rising. M&S invites you to tour their selection of super clean 4x4s and trucks and save thousands. Tacomas, F-150s, Jeeps, Rams, Silverados. Great deals today on hundreds of 4x4s, SUVs, and muscle cars. First-time buyers are welcome. M&S Auto Sales, El Camino, just off the Cap City Freeway. MSAutogroup.com.
Hagen Oaks is introducing the next generation of speed with the long-awaited Ping G430 line of clubs. With more ball speed, improved sound, and movable weights, the Max Driver is something special. You'll find distance with forgiveness in the fairways, carbon fly wrap in the hybrids, and 7 to 10 yards more in the irons. G430 was worth the wait. Ask about the full line of Ping G430 woods and irons at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, the #1 choice for golfers everywhere. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway or online at hagenoaks.com.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento, the flagship station of your Sacramento Kings.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
With your Sactown Sports headlines, I'm Simone Rickford. Good people of Sacramento and disciples of the Beam rejoice. Kings announced yesterday that General Manager Monte McNair has agreed to a multi-year contract extension. The contract for the Kings' Assistant General Manager Wes Wilcox has also been extended. The announcement is widely welcomed as McNair has been considered instrumental in ascending the franchise into Western Conference contention. Kings take on the Toronto Raptors tonight to conclude their January homestand at Golden One Center. If there wasn't already enough to cheer for, with a win over the Raptors tonight, Sacramento can improve to 9 games over 500, their best start since the 2004-2005 season. Stay tuned for all of your Beam Watch coverage right here on Sactown Sports, starting with game night at 5:30 following Cattles and Ramie. I'm Simone. Those are your Sactown Sports headlines. Don't go anywhere. We have Jeff Howe, NFL insider from The Athletic, joining the show in about 10 minutes. Now back to Cattles and Ramie.
Haddles and Ramie.
Haddles and Ramie. Haddles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
All right, so great news yesterday, Ramie. The extension of Monte McNair and Wes Wilcox. Aligned with Coach Mike Brown now. You have some stability. And I wanted to ask you about Vivek and how you feel about Vivek post-Monty extension. But before we get to that, let's hear from Doug Christie, who was on the show yesterday, about Monty getting that extension.
Monty and Wes together, the assistant general, they've done a tremendous job. Like they've put together a ball club, they've hired a staff, they've done many things behind the scenes that you guys don't see, that to try to support the things that we do on a day-to-day basis. And then to now pair that with success, I think it's the right thing to do. I think it lends to the stability and the roots in the ground, that when the wind blows, the tree doesn't fall over, because now we're starting to begin to have something that is sustainable.
We're starting to begin to have something that is sustainable. It all starts at the top, Ramie. Looking at this move, everybody wanted Vivek to get this done. He got it done. How do you look at the owner right now?
So we're good, right? Everybody's good?
You tell me.
Everybody loves Vivek now? Everything's good? Because I know when I got to town, there weren't necessarily the best feelings about Vivek when it comes to his job and his tenure as the owner of the Sacramento Kings. And this is definitely a very good sign that things are moving in the right direction. I don't remember who he was talking to or what publication it was in, but saw some quotes from Vivek just a couple weeks ago, maybe 3-4 weeks ago, admitting that he's made mistakes as the owner and that they've made mistakes. The Kings as an organization have made mistakes since he took over. And he sort of repeated something that I've repeated a number of times in my still short time so far here on Sactown Sports, Nick, which is everybody in all walks of life and all professions make mistakes. The smartest people and the most successful people are usually the ones who recognize those mistakes the quickest and correct them. And he said, we've learned from those. We're moving forward. We feel we're better for the lessons learned from those mistakes. And that's what I want to hear. And signing Monty to the extension and getting the stability and, like Doug Christie said, building the foundation for some sustained success here. Certainly things are moving in the right direction. The only question I still kind of have when it comes to Vivek, and so far so good, is whether or not he's done meddling as an owner, and if he's just going to let Monte McNair and Wes Wilcox and the rest of the personnel staff do their jobs, or is he going to step in? You and I were questioning when Mike Brown was hired. Is this a Vivek hire? Or is this a Monte McNair hire? Because we know Vivek's obsession with the Golden State Warriors and wanting to recreate what they have here, or what they have here in Sacramento. And we wondered if that was just Vivek reaching into the Warriors hat again to try and pull that rabbit out.
Well, also don't forget the Mark Jackson thing when Vivek, according to a lot of people plugged in, said, I think it was Sam Amick who said, look, Mark Jackson would not be even on the list of like 5 or 6 people in this head coaching search if it was, Monty and Wes, if it was just a Monty and Wes list. And the feeling was that Mark Jackson was on the list solely because Vivek was the one that was interested. So if Vivek still had at least, a seat at that table during the coaching search.
Can he stay out of the way? Can he just sign the check, sit in the front row with 50 Cent and enjoy the show? You know what I mean? Can he stay out of the way is the only question I have. But I think he's gone a long way in rebuilding the trust with and the credibility with Kings fans.
Yeah. David Flores Workman, youtube.com, Sactown Sports 1140 says, Vivek has begun righting his wrongs, as Ramie was saying a little bit earlier. Love to see accountability and ownership, as well as a willingness to learn and adapt. Many owners think their way is the only way, but he has changed. Again, that's David Flores Workman, YouTube channel, youtube.com, Sactown Sports 1140. Don't forget to give us that thumbs up. Very little effort from you. Helps us off a lot. The more likes we get, the more eyeballs, the bigger the community grows. That's how YouTube works. So any help you can give us with that, if you enjoy what we're doing here at Sactown Sports, we would love that thumbs up from you. What I look at is being a CEO in essence, right? And I think like Vivek is showing the signs with this extension to Monty and giving Monty the latitude to make these decisions, going back to certainly the Halliburton Domas trade. A good CEO, an effective CEO, is one that understands their strengths and also understands their weaknesses, Ramie, and can acknowledge their weaknesses. And when they realize that weakness has popped up, to, change things as quickly as they can. Now, it might have taken longer than people wanted, and it did take Vivek probably longer than it should have, but the past is a past. That's no longer an issue, because right now he is acting as a very good CEO, understanding strengths, putting people in power to make decisions that should be empowered to make decisions, delegating, right? Allowing those people to do their jobs. You hired Monty McNair to do a job because you believed during the interview process that he could do the job. Let him do the job because you trust him to do the job. That's what top CEOs and managers do. They put people in positions to succeed, and they allow them to do their jobs without getting in the way over and over and over again. And right now, that's what Vivek is doing. I also think we can look at the timeline, and all of us wanted this Monty extension to happen before it did. And I wanted the extension to happen when Mike Brown came in, because I said, hey, marry the deals together, which they ended up doing. But it was at least smart to pull this trigger before the deadline, because this team is Monty's vision. And you want him going in clear-headed, ready to roll, focused on what this team's going to look like, not just the rest of this year, but the next 2-3 years. You want the person who is driving this car down the road to have a full feel of, I'm the guy, these are the moves we have to make, and this is what we are going to do. So I thought getting this done before the deadline, McNair not feeling like he has to have a quick fix, quote unquote, just in case he might still be in trouble.
Right.
That was also good by Vivek.
It's hard working when you feel like your boss is looming over you and watching every decision, and it might cost you your job. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what Monty, or it seems like from the outside looking in, has been dealing with Jason Anderson said it when we talked to him in the last hour, Nick, that up until now, Monty McNair or Vivek was sort of waiting and saying, prove it, show me, before I give you that job security.
Which is, to me,
those are tough circumstances to perform under, man.
Yeah, that's not what I would have done. That's not how I would have handled it. But Vivek handled it the way he handled it, and the result is all that matters. Monty's here long term. Wes is here long term. Mike Brown's here long term. They're all married. They're all happy, and this team is winning. All that matters. Certain things could have changed along the way, but the end result, the finish line to get the deal done, and Vivek realizing the strengths and the weaknesses and allowing his people to do the work they've been hired to do is landscape changing for any franchise. And that's what's going down right now. 916-339-1140 is the text line. Don't forget about our good friends, Capital Casino. They're conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. Is Brock Purdy the 2023 QB1 for the Niners no matter what? We'll get to that and more with Jeff Howe in 90 seconds.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
Join the Sacramento Kings on Thursday, January 26th for the Kingpin Classic Charity Bowling Tournament, presented by Rayleigh's. Bowl and mingle with your favorite players, coaches, Kings dancers, the 916 crew, and Slams It, all while supporting the Sacramento Kings Foundation. Learn more at kings.com/bowling.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find: happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better, and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton and Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and more.
This is Cattles and Ramie
on Sactown Sports.
Jeff Howe joins us from The Athletic, of course. As always, he is on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Jeff usually joins us on Tuesdays at this time, but he was nice enough. He was gracious enough to move to today with the breaking news yesterday of Monte McNair's contract extension. Thank you, Jeff, for that, and thank you for joining us. Let's get into some Brock Purdy talk. I've seen reports over the last several days saying Brock Purdy is no doubt the QB1 in 2023. Is there anything that Purdy could do to make Shanahan or Lynch actually go in a different direction than making him the guy next year?
I guess if the optics are poor, if they lose this weekend and he plays really poorly and then has like some sort of disastrous offseason, like, gets a little too full of himself, doesn't come into camp in the right shape, and Trey Lance looks like they hoped that Trey Lance would look for the last 2 years, then yeah, of course, things could change. But I don't know how you could leave this season, regardless of the outcome, really. I mean, with all of that stuff in mind, all of that stuff would be unforeseen. I don't know how you come out of this season thinking anything other than Brock Purdy being the starting quarterback next year.
Do you think being on the road in Philadelphia, of all places, finally rattles this rookie who has rarely looked rattled at all since stepping in for Jimmy Garoppolo?
Well, it's interesting. I've spoken to a handful of people around the league. I've been working on these stories every week of the playoffs, just getting coaches, executives to weigh in on who they think is going to win each matchup. And everybody I've spoken to so far is picking the Eagles. And it's not a knock on San Francisco. It's just this everybody is so impressed with what the Eagles have done. They just think the Eagles are a more complete team. And then, but the number one factor really is the pass rush. And the Cowboys were able to create a lot of pressure, made Purdy look a little more pedestrian than he had in his previous 6 starts. And they only scored, 19 points. So well below the average of about 32.5 that they've averaged in his starts. So recency bias, I think, is working against them. But then in totality, I mean, the Eagles had 70 sacks in the regular season. Like, that's just absurd. It's 15 more than any other team, which is, they averaged more than double the amount of sacks. They totaled more than double the amount of sacks than a quarter of the league. So they're getting after guys at an unbelievable rate. And that's got the people that I've spoken to concerned that Purdy isn't going to look as good as he has in the net road environment. It's going to be tough.
Jeff Howe is with us. Jeff, today we found out that the AP finalists for Coach of the Year, Brian Daboll, Doug Peterson, Kyle Shanahan. Who do you think lands the Coach of the Year award, and who would you vote for out of those 3 guys?
Well, I think it's probably going to be Daboll, and I think that, you just, it depends on what you're looking for, because this kind of goes back to the argument that, well, for about 15 out of, 18 seasons, Bill Belichick probably should have been the NFL's Coach of the Year.
Right.
But so that's what kind of hurts Kyle Shanahan here. This team had huge expectations, but then you look at what they did. He's got a 3rd-string quarterback playing lights out in the NFC Championship game right now. I know you're not supposed to vote on the playoff results and all that other stuff, but it's just 2 totally different types of awards, and you got 50 people coming together, and you don't know who prioritizes what. And I think Daboll kind of had this thing cemented for most of the season, that how much is the Jaguars' late charge with Peterson and the way that he got Trevor Lawrence playing and set up for the future, how much is that going to change the voters' minds? So it's 3 almost entirely different arguments, and you have no idea what everybody's actually prioritizing.
Who do you think, who does Jeff Howe think has done the best, most impressive coaching job this year?
I would say Kyle Shanahan. It's just, what's the purpose of playing an NFL season. It's to try to win a Super Bowl. And Dayball and Peterson did some unbelievably impressive things. I take absolutely nothing away from those guys. But Kyle Shanahan has this team on the doorstep of the Super Bowl with a third-string quarterback. And not just that. I mean, we talked about the stats last week. The Niners are scoring more points than any team in the league since Brock Purdy took over. Like, that's not supposed to happen. Like, if they were, like, top 10, I think everybody would be like, oh, my goodness, Shanahan's pretty good at this. But they're number one, and they're set up to potentially I know, like, citing the people around the league I spoke to who think the Eagles are going to win this game. But, like, this is a toss-up. This is a really damn good team, and Shanahan withstood a lot of adversity. The injuries earlier in the year that spread way beyond the quarterback position. I mean, it's just he did such a great job.
Jeff Howe is with us from The Athletic on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Jeff, Mahomes said he's okay today. He hasn't been seen with a walking boot. Of course, we know that there always could be some tricks of the trade pulled in Kansas City, like a lot of other teams would do with their quarterback ailing. What should we anticipate seeing on Sunday from Patrick Mahomes?
I think it's going to look a lot like what you saw in the second half against Jacksonville. I mean, I covered that game over the weekend, and he didn't look anything like himself. The guy who was probably going to win the MVP award. You saw it when I was shocked that he came back in the second half. And I mean, just looking at the optics, Chad Henne takes over, marches them 98 yards down the field. Before they even got to midfield, they had a 3rd and 3. They called timeout. Mahomes was out of the locker room on the sideline with his helmet on, and they still didn't put him in for that 3rd and 3. So that seemed to signify to everybody watching that Mahomes' day was done. And then he goes into the locker room. He somehow talks his way back onto the field. And you saw that early scramble on that first possession out of the second half when he made like a quick burst to evade a little bit of pressure and then got just past the first down marker. And then it was like he crumbled. He had no strength in that leg to keep moving, to get that downfield speed and acceleration that he needs. So they went scoreless over a couple possessions. Then you saw Andy Reid really scheme up some things. It helped their cause that the Jaguars were allergic to covering Travis Kelce, and they did just enough kind of escape with a win in that one. But I would be very surprised if he's mobile. The other concern is, as we saw in the second half against Jacksonville, the accuracy was very streaky. You saw him try to get some throws out into toward the sideline that were underthrown. That's because he wasn't able to press off that foot. I know he's tough. He's going to deserve all the credit in the world for playing through this, but you don't just get better after a week when you have a high ankle sprain.
How much is the chip on the shoulder of the Bengals playing a role in their run now to another AFC championship after taking care of the Bills last week?
It's kind of hilarious at this point. So, I understand why they were kicked off at the league about the whole neutral site thing. They have every right to be pissed off about that. But the whole, hey, nobody believes in us. No, you guys are really good, and everybody knows that you're really good. So it reminds me of some of those, I know I cite the Patriots a lot when we do these calls, but, the early 2000s Patriots who were yeah, nobody believes in us. It's well, guys, it's 2004. You've won 2 of the last 3 Super Bowls. I'm pretty sure everybody knows that you're the best team in the league right now. I'm not saying the Bengals are the best team in the league, but they've got the quarterback who's playing the best in the league. Lou Anarumo has that defense playing absolutely lights out. I mean, that was a masterpiece against Buffalo. But they're finding ways to motivate themselves. And whatever it takes, I mean, all the power to you to avoid any sort of mental letdown at this stage of the season. That's important because you got talented teams that just, I'm not saying they check out, but they might not have the same urgency to go out and win as they might have had earlier in the season when they were playing at their best or whatever. So, hey, they're using it to their advantage, and Zach Taylor has done a phenomenal job with that.
Last one for you, Jeff. Got about a minute. Want to squeeze it in. If you were a betting man, where do you think Derek Carr ends up?
Oh, boy. I think all of the NFC South teams should be interested, and because, assuming Tom Brady leaves Tampa, and the Jets have to be interested. So those are probably the 5 on the short list right now.
Jeff, you're the best, man. We'll catch up with you again next week. Thank you, my friend.
Appreciate you guys. Have a good week.
You too. There goes Jeff Howe of The Athletic. He was on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. The Jets are definitely looking for a quarterback. The Zach Wilson stuff that came out recently, even though there's been some pushback to it, Doesn't sound like Zach Wilson was necessarily leading that locker room.
No,
as has the QB1. So I think the Jets are a possibility with Derek Carr. The NFC South, it would be interesting. And the Raiders don't have enough time to be picky, right? Like they've got the way the contract works. They got to get rid of Derek Carr sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
So I think it happens quickly.
How about Indy?
Indy's one on the list.
Spot.
Yeah, I saw something about Rodgers in Indy.
Saw that too.
Yeah. Interesting stuff.
Indy's getting spicy.
Quarterback carousel is going to be
It better
crazy.
get spicy at coach.
Quarterback carousel is going to be crazy this offseason.
I hope so.
I can't wait.
I really hope it is. 424 on this hump day. Hump day. Thanks to Coastside Medical Clinic for that time check in the 4 o'clock hour. We play a QB versus head coach game of who's to blame coming up next.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by R.C. Willey Home Furnishings.
I'm Mark Finan in the KCRE3 Weather Center. Skies will stay clear tonight. Another chilly night with overnight lows dropping down into the mid-30s. Tomorrow we will have bright sunshine with highs near 60. Get the latest forecast on the KCRE3 News and the KCRE3 app.
This week during R.C. Willey's Winter Savings Event, you'll find incredible savings in every department. Plus, enjoy coupon savings from $50 up to $200 on your new purchase. Come in today and save in our Rockland or South Sacramento store near Elk Grove. R.C. Willey.
Buying a new Acura is an easy decision, and Acura of Stockton makes buying easy. Come and see us today or shop online. If we don't have it, you can pre-select your favorite Acura and pick it up when it arrives. No contracts or deposits required. It's that easy. Plus, we'll pay top dollar for your trade whether you buy from us or not. Don't settle for less than the quality of a new Acura from Acura of Stockton. Shop in person or online at AcuraofStockton.com.
This is Monster Jam!
Get ready for massive stunts, all-out racing, and crazy skills.
Let's hear it! Make some noise!
Monster Jam, as big as it gets. Brought to you by Great Clips. Scan the QR code at participating Great Clip salons and save 20% on select tickets. Terms apply. Scan QR code in salon for details. Coming to Golden One Center this weekend.
I remember as if it were yesterday. I reached down to move a nightstand and was astonished at the weight of the piece. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. At that moment, I instantly recognized the difference between Naturewood's quality furniture that will last a lifetime versus lesser quality furniture found elsewhere. Now, I suppose there's a huge difference in what you'd put in your first apartment and what you would live with in the comfort of your own home. Right now, Naturewood Home Furnishings Made in USA sale is a great time to fill your home with solid, superior quality furniture to reflect your own love for life. With brands like Sam Moore, Stanton, Stickley, Hilltop Hickory, Simply Amish, and many more, Naturewood Home Furnishings has tables, chairs, couches, and, yes, nightstands, and more at their Made in USA sale. Find furniture that will be with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Individual rates, coverage offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions, not available in all areas. If you're a small business owner, listen up. Pi Insurance wants to give you one of those aha moments, the kind that could save you money. Workers' comp is probably one of the biggest costs you face. But did you know that insurance providers have flexibility in setting their prices? That's right. But many don't bother giving small businesses the savings you deserve. Instead, you can get lumped in with other businesses and overcharged. Pi Insurance was created to change that. With Pi, you get a quote tailored specifically to your business, and you could save up to 30% with no hassle and no hidden fees. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate. So your workers' comp audit experience is simplified. Take 3 minutes to see how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for Pi or go to trypi.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
Hello there. My name is Seychelle, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is the punch of flavors that's unlike any other. You get the crispy tenderness of the chicken and that hint of sourness from the pickles. Ta-da!
Hey, I'm Juan, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is you're going to get chicken that's crispy, golden, and juicy. This is the gold standard of chicken sandwiches.
Order the original Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real customers paid for their testimonials.
Life is uncertain. It's okay to feel stressed, anxious, worried, or frustrated. It's normal. With CalHope's free and secure mental health resources, it's easy to get the help you and your loved ones need when you need it the most. Call our warm line at 833-317-4673 or live chat at calhope.org today.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines. With your Sactown Sports headlines, I'm Simone Rickford. Good people of Sacramento and disciples of the Beam rejoice. Kings announced yesterday that General Manager Monte McNair has agreed to a multi-year contract extension. The contract for the Kings' Assistant General Manager Wes Wilcox has also been extended. The announcement is widely welcomed as McNair has been considered instrumental in ascending the franchise into Western Conference contention. Kings take on the Toronto Raptors tonight to conclude their January homestand at Golden One Center. If there wasn't already enough to cheer for, with a win over the Raptors tonight, Sacramento can improve to 9 games over 500, their best start since the 2004-2005 season. Stay tuned for all of your Beam Watch coverage right here on Sactown Sports, starting with game night at 5:30 following Cattles and Ramie. I'm Simone. Those are your Sactown Sports headlines. We got Who's to Blame in the chamber right now. Don't go anywhere. Here's Cattles and Ramie.
Who did what and why? Who are you pointing the finger at?
It's not whether you win or lose. It's how you place the blame.
It's Who to Blame
on Cattles and Ramie.
Yeah, on a Wednesday. Thank you. Who's to blame? Ramie loves pointing fingers at people.
I do love pointing fingers.
Loves it.
Love it.
Blaming other people for his shortcomings.
Always. I'm perfect.
Oh,
what did you do wrong? You know? It's my motto in life.
Stop BSing the people in this country.
I am perfect. # blessed. All right, let's talk about the Raiders. We spend a lot of time on the Kings and Niners for obvious reasons.
For good reason.
The Kings are the team here in the city. They're playing great, and also the Niners happen to be playing for the NFC Championship this weekend. But the Raiders are still on our radar, Ramie. We are still paying attention. We are still reading and watching everything that has to do with Vegas and what's happening with Josh McDaniels and Derek Carr. We just talked to Jeff Howe of The Athletic about Derek Carr's future. And there have been some reports recently, Ramie, that have been kind of swirling around within the ether about how Josh McDaniels was very, very tough on Derek Carr.
Yes.
And that they would have these team meetings every week. And a lot of times this season, McDaniels would chew out Derek Carr at these team meetings. He would light him up in front of everybody. He would give him the business.
The quote was, Carr has never had his mail read in front of the entire team like that.
Stop reading my mail. So the idea of this is not only did he have his mail read in front of the team, but Carr started to grow tired of this.
Yes.
This started to irritate him, annoy him, frustrate him. He started to be, a little defensive maybe about how McDaniels was coaching him and some of the stuff that he was talking about in front of the room. Meanwhile, Carr came out. Was it a tweet or an IG post or whatever?
It was a tweet, I believe.
He just came out and said he's going to keep.
Yeah, it was on Twitter. Yeah, he said, thank you to all the people reaching out, trying to give me their platform to tell my side of what happened. It's the hardest thing in the world not to jump on every interview and tell the whole truth. Thank you. But I'm choosing to move on and give our best as Pro Football Talk pointed out, by saying he won't, quote, tell the whole truth, Carr is implying that there's a whole truth that hasn't been told about what went wrong last year.
Of course. I mean, ipso facto,
yes.
I'm deuces out of Vegas, and I ain't doing your pod.
Right.
That's pretty much what he said. Like, thanks, but no thanks to the offers. I'm not going to be the podcast guy. I'm not running around getting interviewed by everybody. I'm not going to pull a Tyrese Halliburton and show up on every pod.
You have the guts to say it to my face.
And tell people how, frustrated I was about the Sacramento Kings trading me to the 150th person asking me the question. I'm gonna stay out of that kind of business. So we look at who's to blame, and the question, Ramie, this week is, who is to blame for the deterioration of the McDaniels-Carr relationship?
It's Josh McDaniels. It's 100%
I love
McDaniels.
how Ramie is so defiant when he answers the who's to blame.
He knew.
It is obviously Josh McDaniels, man. And I have, you know what? I have precedence, Nick Cattles. I have precedence. This man has a track record. And okay, in the article where they say Carr has never had his mail read in front of the entire team like that, that was from SI. They point out that Josh McDaniels treated everybody that way. And there were guys in the locker room that appreciated that nobody was off the hook and everybody was held accountable. And sure, there is something to be said for that. But Nick, you've been in management before.
Yes, recently.
Yes, recently you have.
Like a month ago.
Part of management and overseeing people is knowing what works for people. You know what's going to get the best out of them. And I don't know if Tom Brady broke Josh McDaniels and he thinks everybody is Tom Brady and everybody can be read the riot act or be picked apart so that they can achieve some level of greatness. But Josh McDaniels has illustrated now he does not know how to handle quarterbacks when he walks into organizations that already have established quarterbacks. I don't know if you remember this story, Nick, but of Josh McDaniels' first go-around as a head coach in Denver, shortly after he moved into his office at Dove Valley, he called Jay Cutler and his agent, Buzz Cook, for a closed-door meeting. The story goes that McDaniels began with a 20-minute dissertation of his resume, how he'd worked his way up the ranks in New England to become Bill Belichick's right-hand man with the offense, and how the team would have been nowhere the year before without his tutelage of backup Matt Castle. He continued on with his justification of his hiring by Bolin. He began to bash and berate Cutler and his game to the tune of a verbal flogging neither had ever witnessed. The expletive-laden diatribe went on for a few minutes, after which Cook stood up and told Cutler they were leaving. As they walked down the long hallway past Bolin's office, Cutler turned to Bus and said, "Get me out of here. I don't care how you do it." This guy has a track record of walking into organizations and alienating their franchise quarterbacks. You can't treat everybody the same, man. If that was rubbing Derek Carr the right way, you knew Derek Carr was a key to you winning. Figure out a different way to get through to this guy and don't wreck that relationship and lose the most important player in your organization.
2 words for Derek Carr: play better. If you play better, you don't have to get ripped by the head coach. If you play better, then you wouldn't be embarrassed in these meetings. Tom Brady, this comes from the Bill Belichick camp, and this is why McDaniels does what he does. Nobody would get ripped harder and worse in front of the entire team than Tom Brady. After winning multiple Super Bowls,
but some
after
guys
being
can
called
take
to
it,
go,
and some guys can't. You have to find a way to deliver the message.
He's not taking personal shots at the guy, Ramie. This is saying you need to do a better job. Mike Brown asks for accountability from all the players in the room, and he rips the players when he needs to. He just said the other day, I lit up Malik Monk. Like, it is your job to make sure that you keep the quarterback accountable. If you handle the quarterback with kid gloves and everybody else in the room is going to see that, and they're going to say, why aren't I treated that way?
Because you're not him.
Because you're not. Derek, it's not like Derek Carr is the greatest quarterback that's ever walked the face of the planet.
No, but Derek Carr was the only quarterback that Josh McDaniels had. And Derek Carr, if you lost him, you weren't going to have a good season. And that's exactly what happened.
I don't agree with this idea of let's treat the quarterback completely different because he can't put his big boy pants on and get criticize.
I'm not saying just
for
the
not playing
quarterback. I'm saying
there's absolutely nothing wrong criticizing a quarterback about his play if he plays like crap.
Everybody should be held accountable, but your messaging can't be the same to all 53 guys. Expecting them to all be uniform and monolithic in the way that you can treat them and talk to them and coach them up and get the best out of them is ridiculous. It's a ridiculous notion to have. And to think every quarterback that you're going to have is going to be Tom Brady and have that mindset and that mental toughness is he's going to keep failing if he keeps expecting Tom Brady to walk into his quarterback's room.
I don't think he's expecting Tom Brady to walk into his quarterback's room, or maybe he is now since Brady's a free agent.
Yeah, now Tom Brady might actually walk into his quarterback's room.
I think he's looking at the quarterback and he's asking more from the quarterback, and he's keeping him accountable in front of the whole team. Again, I don't think that he's taking personal shots. And as the teammates said in that story, hey, man, McDaniels, it was equal opportunity, and he wasn't taking personal shots. He wasn't trying to undress somebody personally. He was saying, look, you got to make that throw. You can't throw that pick there. What are we doing? What are we trying to do? I mean, football's a tough game. It's a physical game, and I don't think, as long as the guy is not taking personal shots at somebody and he's not going overboard, and there is no account in that story saying that he went overboard with Derek Carr. It was he treated Carr like he treated everybody else in the room.
And I don't think
it's
you
one
can.
film session a week. I
don't think you can treat everybody the same, man. I just don't think that's how you get the best out of every guy.
I'm actually a fan of Derek Carr, but I feel like people have, there's a lot of excuse making for Derek Carr. Like, he didn't play well. He didn't play well enough. He didn't play well enough to keep his job. He didn't play well enough, consistently enough. That's just the way it is.
That's terrible.
And if he's got an issue, then he's going to go to another team. He's going to be starting for another team, and he can prove the Raiders and he can prove Josh McDaniels wrong and get the last laugh. Like, Jay Cutler was a guy known for like smoking cigarettes and not taking his job seriously. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, Jay Cutler
Jay Cutler eventually got that reputation. When Josh McDaniels went to Denver, Jay Cutler was the rising star of young quarterbacks in the NFL, the rising star. Kyle Shanahan had that guy on a fast track to being a franchise quarterback. Look at his first 2 years in the league.
What I'm saying is,
but Josh McDaniels would rather have Tim Tebow.
Do you think Jay Cutler just woke up and all of a sudden forgot work ethic? He just didn't care anymore.
I don't think
stopped.
I don't think Jay Cutler.
Or do you think Jay Cutler got a lot from his arm talent in Chicago and in Denver early years?
I'm a Bears fan, Nick, and Jay Cutler had his issues. I don't think work ethic was one of them. He spent plenty of time in the film room. He just had bad decision making and never really had a lot of help around him.
I don't think Jay Cutler was ever seen as a super rising star. I think Jay Cutler was seen as somebody who had a great arm. So was Jeff George.
I mean, look at his first 2 years in the league.
I am. He threw nine touchdowns, 5 picks. His second year in the league, 20 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. His third year in the league, 25 touchdowns, 18 picks.
25 touchdowns by his third year. How many yards?
He had 18 interceptions.
How many yards?
4,500 yards. He had more than 4,000 yards once in his career. He went to Chicago. His first year in Chicago, after he left the awful Josh McDaniels, he threw 26 interceptions.
Well, I can tell you, he went to Chicago, and it's Chicago.
That was his fourth year.
They break QBs.
He was 26 years old. So
they break quarterbacks in Chicago. It's what they do.
Let's take this.
Well, that's probably true. Not even probably. Hopefully,
it's their franchise signature. It's what they do. I fear for Justin Fields. Okay,
I was going to say, hopefully, they don't do it. Justin Fields. Our 2 all-time great quarterbacks walking away. We'll have the latest next.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia. I'm Mark Finan in the KCRE3 Weather Center. Skies will stay clear tonight. Another chilly night with overnight lows dropping down into the mid-30s. Tomorrow we will have bright sunshine with highs near 60. Get the latest forecast on the KCRE3 News and the KCRE3 app.
Make your New Year's resolutions yet? Let me help. Trade out of that old car and into something safe and reliable, like a new Folsom Lake Kia with a low payment. Shop Folsom Lake Kia, family owned for over 20 years.
Hey guys, if you have Peyronie's disease, West Coast Men's Health can help. Acoustic wave therapy can dissolve the knot that's causing the problem. No pill or cream will ever do that. And right now, we're offering a free treatment just for coming in. If you suffer from Peyronie's or ED, call West Coast Men's Health today.
With clinics in Sacramento and San Mateo, call 916-829-8273. That's 916-829-8273. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
The world has changed a lot these last 2 years. You can do pretty much anything from your home, including order your new Honda from Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Check out our great selection at StocktonHonda.com or come in today and get pre-approved all in the blink of an eye. Stockton Honda makes buying a car simple and stress-free.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Do you know what people see when they Google you? Search engines don't always get it right. And when they're wrong, it's your reputation on the line. So what do you do when you don't agree with your search results? Call Reputation Defender at 800-401-6681. Reputation Defender by Norton is one of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. We have over a decade of experience in fixing people's search results, and we can help you too. Using cutting-edge approaches, Reputation Defender pushes unflattering information down to lower pages of your search results, where few people ever look. We also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, letting you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. You owe it to yourself to take control with Reputation Defender. Visit www.reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 for free advice on your situation. 800-401-6681. That's 800-401-6681.
And now another no-brainer money-saving tip from Progressive.
It looks like your luggage is over 50 pounds. Is there anything you can take out?
Oh, yeah. Let me just toss all these $20 bills.
Great. Let me grab you a trash can.
Stop. Instead of throwing money away, move some clothes into a carry-on. And here's a better tip from Progressive on how not to waste money. Don't pay too much for car insurance. Drivers who switch and save could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary.
What does it feel like to file with TaxSlayer and get your guaranteed maximum refund? It feels like the last level of a video game, facing off against the final boss who stands between you and your refund.
All your refund is belong to me.
Using the power of TaxSlayer like a secret power-up he doesn't see coming.
Only the most tax confident can defeat me.
Throwing your laptop at his video game face and watching him crumble into a giant pile of shiny coin tax refunds.
Oh, not fair. You use TaxSlayer.
Save up to 80% when you file with TaxSlayer. Start for free.
It's hard to find a better selection of 4x4s in stock and ready to drive home today than you'll find at M&S Auto on El Camino right off the Cap City Freeway. New truck prices keep rising. M&S invites you to tour their selection of super clean 4x4s and trucks and save thousands. Tacomas, F-150s, Jeeps, Rams, Silverados. Great deals today on hundreds of 4x4s, SUVs, and muscle cars. First-time buyers are welcome. M&S Auto Sales, El Camino, just off the Cap City Freeway. MSAutogroup.com.
With you 1 mile at a time during the afternoon drive. Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
Just found out that this is the last season of NCIS LA. I watch that show with Kelly.
Really?
Every week.
You watch all the NCISs?
Not Hawaii.
Okay.
Out on Hawaii. I was out on New Orleans, too. New Orleans got bad quick.
Dude, when I watch the NFL on CBS, every show on CBS that they run promos for looks terrible.
You know,
I don't know if they're just bad at making promos.
You know what they do? You know what they do a
Every
lot?
show looks awful.
You know what they do a lot?
What's that?
They just take movie adaptations. Like, I think True Lies is their latest one.
Yeah.
Based on the blockbuster movie like 30 years ago.
You know what
Love True Lies, though. Love True Lies.
It was a good movie.
Oh, there you go.
Great movie.
You know what looks god awful is Fire Country. Ugh.
Oh, that the main
Well,
the main actor of that show is from SEAL Team. I watched SEAL Team with Kelly.
Also looked terrible in the preview in the promos.
No, that show's
when
good.
it was on CBS.
SEAL Team's good.
Like I said, maybe they have a problem with making promos. Maybe they need a new promo department. but the shows look
all the networks are like that.
Awful.
All the major networks, because they're each one has their own. There's Chicago Fire. There's the one with Rob Lowe on Fox. That's a firefighter. Like
what's
they've all got
what's the show?
I watch all the Chicagos. Med, Fire, PD.
I'm from Chicago and I have no interest
I'm not,
whatsoever in
I
any of
watched
them.
The Bear.
Well,
That's as Chicago's I get.
Chicago Med's not great.
What's the show on Fox
Chicago
about?
PD is pretty good.
Like the country music family. Sigourney Weaver, I think is
No
on it?
idea.
No.
Yeah.
No idea what you're
Yeah, I
talking
know
about.
what you're talking about.
I only
Monarch?
know.
I don't know.
That looks like the worst show in the history of television shows. Whatever it is.
Yeah, yeah.
I only know these because of football commercials.
same.
I've never watched any of them, but also when you say it, I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's terrible. They all look terrible.
All right.
I don't know who's making these shows, but they all. Oh, Monarch. Monarch is
Well,
the
this
show.
NCIS LA was like this weird thing. Before we get back to football here for a second, then we'll get to Kings.
Susan Sarandon,
Kings
not
talking
Sigourney
about
Weaver.
10 minutes.
My bad.
So, I was talking to Kelly about this. So NCIS LA has been really weird. Like this season, a lot of the main characters, like LL Cool J and stuff, and like all the main characters, they've missed multiple shows this year. Where like they'll have like 2 of the main characters off the show. Like 2 weeks ago or last week, they had like 3 of the main characters or 4 of the main characters weren't on the show. And I'm like, so I said to Kelly at the beginning of the year when it started doing this, I by like week 3, I was like, this is the final season. She's like, why? I said, I can guarantee you that they went together to the network and said, we'll do 1 more year, but we ain't doing a full 20 some odd episodes.
Do they have other gigs? Are they off on like movie sets or something?
So Kelly looked it up and there was like this thing like, oh, it's a new showrunner. And the showrunner believes that you shouldn't have all the major stars on every show. So, pretty much less is more. And I'm like, what? I've never heard that in my life. You take a show and you start taking the best people off the show because less is, nobody ever does that. And so I didn't believe it. So Kelly told me today in the chat, she said, NCIS LA's done this year. I said, I was on top of it.
I love when
knew
people
it.
think they're smart. They're just
Showrunner
wrecking it.
crap.
By the way, Monarch canceled after 1 season. I was right. It was terrible.
Oh, a show on NBC got canceled last year. That Kelly and I got into. I'm trying to remember the name of it, but we weren't happy because there was a cliffhanger at the end.
Oh, I hate that.
And I was like,
I hate that.
Anyway,
give me some closure. I need closure.
Frustrated and angry.
Cattles and Ramie, Sactown Sports on this Wednesday. The Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers circus is alive and well. We've gone through this now. We went through it last year with both of them. It feels like for the last 3 or 4 years, we've gone through this with Aaron Rodgers. Here was Brady with Jim Gray on his podcast, Let's Go, this week.
Tom, you're leaving everybody guessing. You said you'll take your time. Do you have any type of a timetable as to what you might want to do regarding your football career?
Jim, if I knew what I was going to do, I'd have already done it. Okay, I'm taking it a day at a time.
Jeez, Tom.
Dude.
Relax a little bit.
That's your co-host.
Caught him on a bad day, huh?
That's literally his co-host. That's Tom Brady's podcast.
Look, if we had no FCC, I'd probably answer you back like that at least twice a show. At least twice a show, you'd get that from me.
It's not like he was ambushed by some reporter.
This is Jim Gray.
This isn't TMZ when he was walking out. Hey, Tom, what are you going to do this offseason? This is his co-host on his podcast asking him, what are you going to do this offseason?
Jim Gray doesn't ask any tough questions to Tom Brady. That's part of the deal.
Yeah.
That's why he is hosting that podcast with Tom.
Jim, if I knew what I was going to do, I'd have already done it.
All right. Back to you. Jim Gray must have been like, whoa.
Damn, bro.
And I would bet you that Jim Gray told Tom he was going to ask him that.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah.
You think that was all orchestrated? Do you think that was Tom setting the tone for the offseason and anybody who's got
In
some
fairness,
questions?
for the full clip, it was like the second time he asked him about it.
Well,
okay.
So there you go. So maybe
Fair.
it was maybe Tom kind of brushed it aside the first time and didn't want to talk about it. And Jim was like, but no, Tom. People want to know. And he was like, bleep you, bleep everything, bleep this show, bleep
Jim,
the
if I knew what
word.
I was going to do, I'd have already done it.
How dare you ask me that question, Jim Gray? How dare you? So you've got TB12 all fired up, and then you've got AR12 with Pat McAfee. Here's how Aaron Rodgers handled the question about his future.
Usually you would think they would wait until maybe the off week between the championship weeks and the Super Bowl to drum up some storylines, because there is, 2 great games this Sunday, and I have, some people that love to track that stuff, so I've been made aware of it. Listen, there's heroes and villains in sports and entertainment. I've been cast as the villain, especially the last few years. And so that is the way that, a lot of things I said are often interpreted.
Ramie floated the possibility that he may have been inebriated. I think the way he slurred Super Bowl convinced me.
What is
Man, he's just chilling, bro.
What's worse?
He's just maxing and relaxing.
What's worse? Brady's complete overreaction.
Jim, if I knew what I was going to do, I'd have already done it.
Or the woe is me, I'm the villain Aaron Rodgers act. What's more insufferable? It's a tight race.
Pretty close.
Yeah, it's a tight race.
Yeah.
Every time Aaron's the villain. Even though he sets up all these storylines,
right.
He's always the guy that's the villain.
He's always like, hey, man, what's the big deal?
Hey, I'm just chilling. It's got nothing to do with me wanting tens of millions of dollars more, man. It's got nothing to do with that.
What are you harshing my buzz for, bro?
I mean, I found my center like 3 years ago. I don't even know what you're even bothering me with this. And Brady's like, I've had enough, man.
Jim, if I knew what I was going to do, I'd have already done it.
Brady's ripping his shirt off like 1980s Hulk Hogan, and Aaron Rodgers like Bob Marley with his feet up.
Did you hear Rodgers like wax philosophical when they say the grass is always greener on the other side? I say the grass is greener wherever you water it.
Oh, God. That was deep, Ramie.
I hate you. I stop.
Jim, if I knew what I was going to do, I'd have already done it.
Insufferable. It's a great word.
It's Aaron Rodgers, by the way. Because I could believe that Tom got irritated and just kind of lashed out more than like, oh, I'm the villain. I'm the villain. Everybody feel bad for me.
Shocker, Nick didn't say Tom Brady.
Nobody's saying that Aaron Rodgers is a villain, but they're just saying, are you going to play next year?
It does seem like, I will say, in Aaron Rodgers' defense, like the season isn't even over yet, and I already turn on the talking head shows, and they're like, why is Aaron holding the Packers hostage? He needs to give them a decision. Like, dude, they can't do anything yet. They can't do anything for like a month at least. Nobody is going anywhere or moving. Why is Aaron Rodgers? I mean, he is kind of made out to be the villain, Nick.
Who walked off the field with Randall Cobb arm in arm and pushed the cameraman away when the cameraman got in front of him and told whoever it was, I'm going to keep this jersey. This one's a special one, right in front of the cameras.
It was an emotional moment.
Look, I'm not saying that Rodgers is, a bad guy or whatever. He's insufferable, dude. He's done this his entire career. He has always been calculated. He has always
he's definitely calculated.
Like he's always like set himself up as the woe is me character. People are coming after me. He's like the only dude that he's won one Super Bowl. He's considered one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. He's lost a bunch of playoff games in dramatic fashion because he's played bad. And he turns around, he's just like, oh, it's just always on me, man. I'm the villain. Why are you going to paint me as a villain? Like, because you orchestrate this stuff. You're the one that leaked. There's no doubt Aaron Rodgers leaked a few years ago on draft day. Of all days, on draft day.
Yeah.
That he was thinking he was going to go somewhere else.
No doubt.
Like, so give me a break. Like, you built the story. You got to live with it, man. That's how the cookie crumbles, as they say. I don't know who they are. You can only pick one for head coach of the year. This is good. Who wins? Shanahan or Mike Brown? Talk about it next.
Cattles
and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
For your everyday vehicle. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP oil filter for only $26.99. Do the complete job for the right price. Get the parts you need when you need them at AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at PowerCopier.com.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hi guys, it's Mark. Are you struggling with ED? Did you know that a major medical breakthrough is now available and it isn't a pill? Today, Wednesday, January 25th, we're running a one-day special you won't want to miss out on. Coastside Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. This is a technology clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. It's backed by 60 clinical studies, including from Cambridge. If you're ready to regain that spark, today is your day. Call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. You'll also get a gift that can produce rapid and powerful results in minutes. You're going to love that one, guys. Trust me. And today only, we're offering 6 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This is an unprecedented offer worth hundreds of dollars, but call today and qualify totally free. Call 916-603-2000. That's 916-603-2000. Guys, put a stop to your ED and get your life back. Call Coastside Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today, Wednesday, 916-603-2000.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet, a Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Woodland. So Chad, honest question, why drive all the way to Hoblet when the other guys are so much closer?
Well, I can tell you about our true pricing policy where the price you see is the price you pay. No add-ons or hidden fees. I can tell you we have one of the largest selections of new Ram trucks in California because we are the #1 heavy-duty Ram truck dealer in California, or I could let our customers tell the story.
I've been researching Ram 1500s for about a week. Called multiple dealers, got a bunch of BS. I reached out to Hoblet Dodge and immediately was assured of their straightforward and true pricing. No sneaky dealer markups. In the end, it was a great deal and a great truck.
Come see for yourself why Hoblet Dodge is your small town dealer with big city selection and savings. Come be treated like family instead of a sucker with Hoblet's true pricing with no dealer markups, add-ons, or hidden fees. Stop by Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Woodland or see our full selection with true prices at hobletdodge.com. Best prices, best selection, period.
Why have over 2 million people trusted their bath remodels to Bathfitter? When a normal day is anything but normal, we fit your schedule with our unique tub-over-tub process installed in just a day with no demolition. When high quality is the only quality that matters, we fit your standards. We've been remodeling baths for over 35 years, and every bath we install comes with a lifetime warranty. Get the bath you want in a day with quality that lasts a lifetime. Bathfitter, it just fits. Visit bathfitter.com to book your free consultation.
Individual rates, coverage, offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions, not available in all areas. Hey, small business owner, when's the last time you checked your workers' comp rate? For many small businesses, workers' comp insurance is one of their biggest costs, but some don't check their rate often. Did you know rates can vary? In fact, taking 3 minutes to check your rate with Pi Insurance could save you up to 30%. Just go to trypi.com, share a few details about your business, and get a quote that's customized for you with no hassle or hidden fees. We know you're busy, but spending just a few minutes to check your rate could save you money. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate. So your workers' comp audit experience is simplified. See how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for Pi or get a quote at trypi.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
With your Sactown Sports headlines, I'm Simone Rickford. Good people of Sacramento and disciples of the Beam rejoice. Kings announced yesterday that General Manager Monty McNair has agreed to a multi-year contract extension. The contract for the Kings' Assistant General Manager Wes Wilcox has also been extended. The announcement is widely welcomed as McNair has been considered instrumental in ascending the franchise into Western Conference contention. Kings take on the Toronto Raptors tonight to conclude their January homestand at Golden One Center. If there wasn't already enough to cheer for, with a win over the Raptors tonight, Sacramento can improve to 9 games over 500, their best start since the 2004-2005 season. Stay tuned for all of your Beam Watch coverage right here on Sactown Sports, starting with game night at 5:30 following Cattles and Ramie. I'm Simone. Those are your Sactown Sports headlines. We got Kings basketball tonight in the final half hour of the show, so you know what that means. Go forth and light the beam, baby.
One brings Makloff magic, while the other, we're still trying to figure that out.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
Little seal for you on a hump day.
Apparently so. That's what we're doing. You like seal?
I do.
That's all I got.
That's all I got.
It's also it's the Space Jam song, so I know Ramie likes that.
That's the entire seal conversation I have for you.
That's all I got.
Hopefully everybody enjoyed it. All right, we'll have Stats Guerrera join us in about 10 minutes to talk Niners, Eagles. But here's an interesting question, okay? The AP came out with their finalists for NFL Coach of the Year. Shanahan is on the list, Ramie. The other two coaches, Brian Daboll with the Giants, Doug Peterson with the Jaguars. It's tough to argue. It's tough to argue against Shanahan and what he's done with a third-string quarterback. But I also think, Daboll absolutely deserves to be in the conversation, doing what he did with the Giants and Daniel Jones.
Quick turnaround.
Peterson, too, taking over that disaster from Urban Meyer. I mean, it feels like it was 10 years ago Urban Meyer was head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Kicking kickers.
So I think it's a pretty good conversation to have with those three guys. But Shanahan is a finalist. We'll see if he wins it.
But that conversation is boring, right?
Yeah, so let's mix it up. So Coach Brown.
Oh.
There have been murmurs.
But that's a different sport, Nick.
It is.
Oh.
Brian Windhorst wrote about Mike Brown this week. And there's been talk. There's been steady talk of Mike Brown being in the Coach of the Year conversation in the NBA. So if you could only pick one of the two local coaches to win Coach of the Year, who do you think deserves it more? Shanahan or Brown, and why?
You brought this up yesterday in a break, and you broke my brain with it. I've been thinking about it ever since because it's hard to compare the different sports. And honestly, this might be the bubble effect.
But you're not comparing the sports. You're comparing what the person has done with their team.
This might be the bubble effect that I talk about, that when it comes to the teams that you watch and talk about and root for on a day-to-day basis, things often look a lot better or a lot worse than what they really are or what they would look like if you took the 30,000-foot view. But in my opinion, both those guys deserving of Coach of the Year for what they've done. But in comparing the two, Nick, I think I have to lean Shanahan more deserving of a Coach of the Year award than Mike Brown.
Okay.
Slightly leaning towards Shanahan just because of the adversity that he's had to overcome, mostly in terms of the injuries that he's endured. And not just at quarterback, but let's focus just on quarterback and losing your starter and then losing your second string guy.
Yes.
And then ending up with a rookie who was the last guy taken in the draft that 31 other NFL teams literally had zero interest in. I showed you a scouting report from an NFL scout, and he literally, next to Brock Purdy's name, just wrote down no interest.
No interest.
No interest whatsoever.
Imagine if a lady came up to you when you were, you were dating back in the day, and she just walked up to you and said, no interest, and walked on.
It wasn't written out, but I got that message many a time. Okay? It wasn't written on a scouting report.
But you use it to your advantage as a stand-up comedian.
Yes, so absolutely. And I've overcome the scouting report and gone way out of my league now. So just like Brock Purdy. To put that in terms of Mike Brown and his team. That would be the equivalent of De'Aaron Fox going down and everybody going, okay, I guess Davion Mitchell has to step up. And Davion Mitchell steps in and they don't skip a beat. They just keep on winning games. And then Davion Mitchell goes down and Mike Brown is forced to go to Matthew Dellavedova as his everyday point guard. That's what Kyle Shanahan was dealing with at the quarterback position and losing the most important player, not the best, but the most important player on the field for him, losing his backup.
Poor Deli catching strays.
And ending up with the third string guy who nobody expected to even play this year, who's basically just there to be on the bench and hype people up and help them look over notes and box scores. That
was out of respect.
That's what Kyle Shanahan dealt with this year, if I was to put it in terms of what Mike Brown could have potentially dealt with.
I'm going to go with Brown. I'm going to go with Brown because of the monumental challenge that he faced when he walked into the job. Like, I would argue that, Kyle Shanahan had to deal with the third string quarterback, but Kyle also has a loaded offense, a bunch of weapons, a really good offensive line, a defense that's outrageously good, a defensive coordinator who's going to be a head coach once this season is over, the guy who's at the top of pretty much every team's list to be their head coach in 2023 that needs a head coach in 2023. Mike Brown took over a team that had gone through a 16-year playoff drought. There was desperation. There was lack of belief. There was lack of confidence in many corners. People looked at Mike Brown, I think, and said, you're crazy for taking the Kings job, man. They don't do anything right. They should move to Seattle, like some of the national pundits threw out there with their idiocy over the past several years.
With the 2-year-old arena.
Recent franchise history, man. You know, Shanahan is almost a victim of his own success in this conversation, because the team has just been there. The team has been to the NFC Championship game. They were just there last year. They've been to a Super Bowl with Kyle. They've already shown that they can win with an average quarterback in Jimmy Garoppolo. They're winning with a guy that I do think is an average quarterback in Brock Purdy right now. He could grow to something more, but right now I would say he's pretty much an average quarterback. So when I look at the challenge that they face, like the expectations, we're talking about the Kings now maybe being one or two pieces away on the bench from being a team that could make legit noise in the Western Conference playoffs. We're talking about a team that the Vegas, prognosticators had at like 33 wins, 34 wins. I just think the way that the Kings have exceeded their expectations already to this point, the fact that, Brown was facing all of this history and, questions about this team's roster and whether or not it was going to work. Don't forget, Domas had only played like 11 or 12 games with Fox last year before they both got hurt. Would they work well? And the final thing I would say, Ramie, Shanahan had to deal with a new quarterback. Mike Brown had to deal with a new everything. This is a new staff being put together. This is a lot of new guys on the roster. This is a new philosophy on both ends of the floor that you're figuring it out. You're in a new city, right? You're in a new city if you're Mike Brown. There was a lot of new that Brown had to handle, and for him to handle it as well as he has and to have this team where it is right now, look, I'm not saying Shanahan doesn't deserve the conversation. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve the coach of the year in the NFL. But if I had to choose between he or Brown right now in a vacuum, I'm picking Mike Brown.
If it was just losing Trey Lance and having to, go the rest of the way with Jimmy G, I'd probably agree with you. But I mean, at the end of the day, there really isn't a wrong answer to this, right? Like I'm not going to push back on your answer and saying Mike Brown.
Of course not.
I don't know that there's a lot of pushback on my answer and saying Kyle Shanahan. There are fine points to be made for both. And like I said, I think both are probably deserving of their Coach of the Year awards in their respective sports.
That's what makes it a tough question, because both guys do deserve it. Look, there's a lot of basketball left. Maybe that's the ultimate argument from some people saying we're not even there yet.
Well, I already got them winning 50 games.
I mean, even if you finish 500 where this team ends up is still very impressive given what the expectations were, right? So I would lean Brown, but I agree with you, Ramie. There is no wrong answer in this question. It's just kind of an interesting look at two coaches that have done a very, very good job and have brought success to the local area. I mean, if you want to call San Francisco local, it's as local as we get with the NFL, right? But I would lean Brown ultimately. But it's tough. It's tough. Both guys have done really, really good work. No doubt about that. By the way, 5:12 on a Wednesday, and thanks to Capital Casino, conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento, helping sponsor this hour. All right, speaking of Kyle Shanahan, we will preview Eagles, Niners with Stats Guerrera in 90 seconds.
Cattles
and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. The only place you'll find De'Aaron Fox is Sactown Sports.
Spins away from the defender in the paint. Soft floater. That's a great play by De'Aaron Fox.
Hey, Sacramento. It's De'Aaron Fox, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda,
your one-stop Honda shop.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Live and local in the afternoon.
They always keep you on edge.
Cattles
And Ramie.
on Sactown Sports.
All right, let's talk about this NFC Championship game coming up on Sunday between the Eagles and the Niners. Joining us right now, our friend Rob Stats Guerrera from the Gold Standard Podcast Network on Spotify. You could also check him out at Stats on Fire, his YouTube page. And, of course, he is on the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Stats, as always, guys, if we can kill the music, thanks. Appreciate it. Stats, as always, we appreciate you and your time, my man. Let's start with Debo, CMC, Mitchell, all DMPs today. Debo says his ankle is sore. What is your level of concern?
I'm concerned. I mean, look, we were so excited because the Niners seemed like they were so healthy going into the playoffs and even coming out of that Seattle game. But I think it speaks to just the level of physicality from that last Cowboys game. It kicked up a notch for sure, and as it usually does this time of year. But now we're talking a situation where two of the Niners' three biggest playmakers are significantly less than 100% going into this game.
So this isn't the old they rest on Wednesdays. This is they need this time off to recover from injuries.
I think they do, yeah. And look, I'm not in the locker room, obviously, but just look at the end of that Cowboys game. I mean, Christian McCaffrey, most of the time, was not in there. It was Elijah Mitchell. McCaffrey would come in on third downs when the Niners really needed to make a play, but other than that, he was on the sideline. And if there's one thing we know with Kyle Shanahan, he doesn't really like to use multiple backs in a game unless he has to. So I listen less to what they say and more about what they do. And the fact that McCaffrey wasn't in there was telling for me. Debo, of course, was. But look, we all know Debo's level of play is extremely physical. So we'll see what happens on Sunday.
Rob Stats Guerrera with us. Rob, how much belief do you have in Brock Purdy going out there to Philly, playing on the road in the NFC Championship game?
Well, do I have belief that he can distribute the ball and take care of the ball and maybe make, a play or two in the red zone? I have strong belief in that. Do I believe that he can put the team on his back with no running game and little help from his defense and put up 40 points against that Eagles defense? No, I don't. But that's kind of where I've been with Brock Purdy all along, and so far he hasn't let me down.
Some talk about, the road game and the Philadelphia crowd getting the best of him. One thing I said, Rob, was that I'm still wondering if the quarterback is exposed and we see on a football field why he was the last player taken in the draft. We see the rookie come out in him. But one thing I don't really wonder about or question is this guy going to get rattled? It doesn't seem like moments are too big for Brock Purdy outside of maybe a couple of plays to start that Seattle game in the wild card round. Do you think the Philadelphia crowd gets the best of this guy?
I don't think it will. I mean, there's just as much of a chance of that crowd booing the Eagles as there is that crowd booing the 49ers. But no, I think Brock is the one thing you can say about him is that he is poised and he kind of understands his role in this whole thing. So I think that the Dallas game last week helped him too. I think it took him a couple series to kind of adjust to the speed of that Cowboys defense because he hadn't really seen anything like that before this. And now the fact that he has adjusted to it, I think he's not going to like have that shock, even though he is on the road in Philadelphia. I think it's more just, okay, they're yelling at us instead of cheering for us, but whatever. I'll still go out and do my job.
Rob Stats Guerrera from the Gold Standard Podcast Network on Spotify. You can also check him out on his YouTube page at Stats on Fire. The San Francisco O-line, Rob, they had some issues with Dallas. Dallas got heat on Brock throughout stretches of the game last weekend. Now they face the NFL's #1 team in pass rush win rate. The Eagles have sacked a bunch of quarterbacks this year. How do you feel about that O-line coming up on Sunday?
Not great. Under pressure 14 times against the Cowboys. He was just 3 of 10 for 24 yards when he was under pressure. He's going to have to learn to function when he's uncomfortable, and he's going to be uncomfortable for a large portion of this game because, like you said, defensive front it's effective like the 49ers, but it's different than the 49ers. Most of the 49ers pressure comes from number 97, Nick Bosa. The Eagles have 4 guys with 10 or more sacks, so they can come at you from anywhere. So I think that Brock's going to have to, number 1, rely on Kyle Shanahan. Number 2, he's probably going to have to make a little magic at times and use some of those different arm angles, but he is not going to have the kind of nice, clean pockets that he sort of had when he first took over from Jimmy Garoppolo.
Do you think the dominant stretch continues for this defense, or do you see some problems that Philadelphia presents for San Francisco?
I'm actually not as worried about Jalen Hurts scrambling as most people are. He's going to get some yards. He's a good runner, and they're going to do some design things for him. What I'm actually more worried about is the deep passing of the Eagles. I'm worried about Hurts moving away from pressure, getting outside the pocket, and then extending the play and looking deep down the field to A.J. Brown and deep down the field to Devontae Smith. I keep bringing it up every week, but the Niners are vulnerable to deep passes. I think it's 8 plays of 50 yards or more. We saw last week CeeDee Lamb caught a big one. I think that was 49 yards, so technically it doesn't go towards that stat. But the point is made. You can have things deep down the field against the Niners. That's what I worry about more than anything else.
Rob Stats Guerrera on the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. How much of an advantage, Rob, when you look at this, do the Niners have in the Nick Bosa-Mailata matchup? It seems like Bosa should be able to eat, especially if the Eagles don't send extra help.
I mean, the Niners have the advantage in the Nick Bosa against anybody matchup.
Yes, that's fair.
Trent Williams plays on the 49ers, so that would be the only time I would call it a draw. But he's going to have to. I know that, he hasn't had a ton of sacks in his last 4 or 5 games, but he still affects the game. He still moves quarterbacks off their spot, and the Niners really need him to play like the defensive player of the year this week, because if they can't pressure Jalen Hurts, it's going to be a long day.
So what happens in the NFC Championship game, Rob Stats Guerrera?
Oh, well, I hate to say it, but I did pick the Eagles to make the Super Bowl before the year started, so I kind of have to stick with it. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be a close game because I do think this 49er defense is playing a lot closer to the level they were at when the year started as opposed to what we saw down the stretch. But I just think the Eagles are too equipped to handle any kind of game, a slugfest, a shootout, whatever they need to do, they seem to be prepared to do it. And ultimately, I think they are just a little bit better version of the 49ers. So I'll take Eagles 28-21.
Stats, we appreciate you, my man. Thanks for joining us again. We'll talk to you next week about what happened in the NFC Championship game on Sunday.
I hope we're talking about a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Thank you, Stats. There goes Rob Stats Guerrera again, Gold Standard Podcast Network on Spotify. You can check him out on YouTube, his YouTube page at Stats on Fire, and he was on the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop
Honda shop.
We doing this again?
I don't know. Apparently, Nick didn't think so.
I wasn't quite planning for it, but if Ramie wants to do it. Quickly, though, before we bid people adieu here, because we're out a little bit early today because the Kings. Raptors, tonight, Ramie. Your thoughts?
This is another game that we went through this stretch, Nick, of these games, and we talked about the 9-game stretch previous and 5 or 6 that followed that presents an opportunity for the Kings and a lot of winnable games. And I think this is another one of those winnable games for them tonight. I think they take it home. I think it should be relatively easy. No games are really all that easy, but it should be relatively easy tonight.
OG might not play, right?
Makes it a little easier.
I would also say that, when you look at this Raptors team, they're not great shooters, right? They do not shoot great from distance. Van Vliet's having a down year. They are going to beat you tonight if you allow them to beat you off the glass, right? If they're able to grab rebounds all night long, get second chance points, the stuff that we've seen happen to the Kings every once in a while that has hurt them. They also really take advantage in transition. You have to take care of the basketball tonight. If you don't take care of the basketball against the Raptors, you will keep them in the game. So take care of the ball, box out. And finally, I think this could be a night where Domas really, really does some work, as if he doesn't ever do work. You get the point. I mean, I think he could have a monstrous game because the Raptors have length, but they don't have necessarily a big body down low. They really need like a big, thick-framed man in the middle. I think Domas in the paint tonight could crush them. So I think the Kings win tonight. We'll talk about it tomorrow, of course. Thanks to Kyle. Thanks to Simone. Great job from them too. Ramie, great stuff.
Thank you, sir.
Talk to you tomorrow. It's
Yes, you will.
Cattles and Ramie, Sactown Sports.
From the sun would not burn.